This is the NFL on CBS. We join you today from Indianapolis, the Bills and the Colts. It's kickoff 99 in the NFL. We'll come back with our opening kick after these words on CBS. Ian Eagle and Mark May back with you from Indy. Buffalo has won the toss. They've elected to receive. Mike Vanderjagt will kick it off for the Indianapolis Colts. Kevin Williams is the deep man for Buffalo. The 99 season underway. A short kick, and Williams will take it from the 10. Makes his move to the outside. Williams caught from behind as he crossed the 30-yard line. Keith Elias, the special teams tackle, a 23-yard return. Doug Flutie, 1998 was a year of validation, and it certainly shows in his bank statements. $22 million extension, a new 4-year deal for the Buffalo quarterback.
Doug had a tremendous year last year, and I think he really recharged this offense. Once he finally got in the game, he opened up the offense for Eric Moulds, got him the ball right away, and now they have one of the most potent offenses in the NFL.
Double tight end set to start out for Buffalo. First play from scrimmage. Thurman Thomas in the backfield off of play action. Flutie puts it in the air, and Thomas gets licked. Tyrone Poole, what a way to start the 99 season for the Colts. And Thomas is shaken up.
And that's the little guy, Tyrone Poole, only 5'8", and he's usually a coverage guy, but what a stick he puts on Thurman Thomas. Outstanding defense, timed it to a T, came up, stuck his shoulder right in there, picture perfect hit by the little man, Tyrone Poole. This is how you're coached to do it. He's right there, stick his shoulder and his head right in there. Nice jarring hit by Tyrone Poole.
And Thomas is feeling the effects now in his 12th year out of Oklahoma State. A future Hall of Famer, and not the way he envisioned the 99 season starting.
And Doug Flutie's really not his friend, Thurman Thomas putting that ball up there with his back turned. He opened his back up and exposed him to a big hit. Here his back's turned. He lunges for the ball. He has no idea where Tyrone Poole is, and he just gets his jaw knocked.
And Mark, bigger picture, as Doug Flutie looks on, this Buffalo team is thin at running back to begin with.
And they only have 4 running backs, a fullback, Sam Gash, a fullback halfback in Jonathan Litton, Antoine Smith, the starting running back, and Thurman Thomas. Most teams in the NFL carry 5 to 6 because the running back is the guy that plays special teams for the teams, but both of these teams very thin. 4 for Buffalo and only 3 for the Indianapolis Colts.
Thomas still lying on his back as head coach Wade Phillips looks on from the sideline, and a rather inauspicious way to start your season. We'll come back with more from Indy. Colts and Bills just underway as Thomas took a lick from Poole here on CBS. On a 2nd and 10 for Buffalo. On a pitch, Antoine Smith now on the game. His first carry of the season going nowhere. Bernard Whittington and Jason Belzer combine on the stop. A loss of 3. A good sign that Thurman Thomas could walk off the field on his own power, but the medical staff still tending to the veteran.
That's not the way you want to start off a game with a veteran like Thurman Thomas. You want to get in the flow of the game and start your season off. And the first play of the game, he's knocked out of there. It looks like a rib or a lower back injury. Hopefully the wind's knocked out and we'll see him later on in this game.
Bills will go with a 4-receiver look. Jonathan Linton, the running back, checking in as a receiver. Dime package for Indy. On a 3rd and 13, Flutie in some trouble. Scramble. Incomplete. Jeff Burris was the man providing the pressure, and the Bills forced a punt.
That's Vic Fangio's defense, the new defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts. It's a pressure defense. Attack the quarterback. Zone blitz. We want to put more pressure on the quarterback than we ever have. These players love this defense. Here's a corner fire by the corner, Jeff Burris, coming from the outside, putting pressure on quarterback Doug Flutie. That's the style of the defense that they want to have and portray in Indianapolis this year.
The Buffalo punter is Chris Moore. Deep man for Indy, Terrence Wilkins. He's the rookie out of Virginia. Fair catch signal made. Catches cleanly at the 27. And that's where the Colts will have it following the 44-yard punt from Moore. Peyton Manning. No, he didn't get the victories that he was looking for in his rookie season, but he certainly got the numbers. He set all the major rookie passing records last year. And maybe the biggest thing that stood out for Manning, he was the only quarterback in the NFL to take every snap last season. It's a testament to his toughness. Thurman Thomas now will take a stroll into the locker room. Early stages first quarter. Double tight end set for the Colts to open play. Their first play from scrimmage here in 99. On a give, Edgerrin James, his first NFL carry, as he makes his way to the 30-yard line. John Holisek making the tackle. Indianapolis offense, young offensive line and some changes as Larry Moore steps in for Jay Lewinberg. The veteran was let go in the preseason. Backs and receivers, Edgerrin James. First NFL action here tonight, joined by Green, Harrison, and E.G. Green, beating out Jerome Pathan for the other wideout spot. Ken Dilger is the starting tight end. 2-yard pickup for James on his first carry. He'll get another. And not much to work with as he gets to the line of scrimmage. John Holisek again there to greet him. The Buffalo defense, well, the Bills very happy with their defensive effort of a year ago. Really no changes to speak of. Bruce Smith, Ted Washington, Phil Hansen on that defensive line in the 3-4. Linebackers, Northern, Coward, Holisek, and Sam Rogers. And in the secondary, Ken Irvin, Henry Jones, Kurt Schultz, and Thomas Smith. 3rd and 8. A 3-receiver set. Manning will operate out of the shotgun. Manning has time. Throwing. Complete. E.G. Green, a first down catch. 11-yard pickup. They'll move the chains.
Nice job by the offensive line of the Indianapolis Colts to protect Peyton Manning, but Bruce Smith on the outside, he told us yesterday when we spoke to him, I'm going to get to Peyton Manning. I haven't sacked him yet, but first play of the game, he's putting pressure on Peyton Manning, getting close to him, letting him know from play one, I'm going to get you sometime today.
He has sacked 58 different quarterbacks over the course of his NFL career. Peyton Manning is not one of them. Still early first quarter. Colts, first offensive possession. Manning looking, deep ball throw. He had Harrison open. Incomplete. Ken Irvin in on the coverage.
And that's a play that they've worked on from day one in training camp. The play action pass, when you've got a back like Edgerrin James, the safeties have to bite. The safeties bite on Edgerrin James. That opens it up. One-on-one on the outside for Marvin Harrison. He beats his man downfield, but the ball's just overthrown and out of his reach.
Line of scrimmage is the 41-yard line. And a 2nd and 10 for the Colts. Once again, a double tight end set with Dilger and Pollard. James in the backfield. Long count for Manning. On a handoff, James trying to bounce it to the outside, and the Bills were ready. John Holisek was the first man there, and a host of tacklers, including Sam Rogers, finished him off for a loss of 3.
Eyeing the teams early in this game, John Holisek has the number of Edgerrin James. He's been all over Edgerrin James this first series or two. And right here, he blitzes up the middle, stuffs the guard, gets by the guard, and just grabs Edgerrin James by the feet. But the host of the Buffalo Bills defense surrounding Edgerrin James. I talked to defensive coordinator Ted Cottrell this week. He said, we want to surround him and make sure we've got 3 or 4 Buffalo Bill jerseys around him at all times.
And Holisek really making a name for himself. He replaced Chris Spielman in the lineup after his injury. And Holisek has done the job. Bills have not skipped a beat. We'll see our first flag of the day. A lot of movement on that line. Our referee is Ron Blum.
Encroachment, 75 defense. 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
Marcellus Wiley.
And here's Marcellus Wiley right there. He'll get a little early jump. Defensive tackle next to him move. That's probably what caught him off guard, but you've got to concentrate. Defensive lineman, all you have to do is watch the ball.
On a 3rd and 9. Shotgun formation for Manning. Smith might have moved early, and Manning goes down. That would be the first ever sack that Smith has had on Manning, but he got a heck of a jump.
I think at the end of that play, Bruce Smith didn't care. He wanted a taste of Peyton Manning to let him know right away that he's going to be in his face all day, regardless if he jumps off sides or not. He wanted to get a hit on Peyton Manning.
78 defense, offside, unabated to the quarterback. 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
And that's just a little intimidation by Bruce Smith. Of course, there he is right there in the screen, jumps off sides. He can pull up now because he knows he's early. But hey, KG veteran, I'm going to let this young quarterback know that I'm going to be around him the entire afternoon.
He is going against 3rd-year pro Tarek Glenn today, and Smith had some praise for Glenn when we spoke with him yesterday. called him one of the best young left tackles in the NFL. On a 3rd and 4 following the penalty. Once again out of the shotgun. Manning has time and connects. Marvin Harrison into Buffalo territory, and another Colts first down. 10-yard hookup.
Nice pitch and catch by quarterback Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, but in his face again, Bruce Smith. He wants a taste of Peyton Manning, but it was a wonderful curl route on the outside by Marvin Harrison. These two guys have known each other the last 2 years. They played pitch and catch every day. If Peyton Manning feels any pressure right here, Bruce Smith, he's going to look to Marvin Harrison, and he's wide open for the first down.
Harrison missed the last 4 games of last season with a separated shoulder. He was on his way to having a Pro Bowl caliber year. Now in his 4th season out of Syracuse. Little dump off. Edgerrin James trying to create after the catch. Stumbling a bit. And once again, Buffalo in pursuit, able to handle him. Henry Jones and John Holisek combining on the tackle. No gain on the play.
Edgerrin James, when we spoke with him yesterday, Ian, he told us, this is just football. I'm not intimidated by this. This is the NFL. Hey, this isn't that hard. But I think he's getting a taste of the real NFL season. This isn't preseason. This is the real NFL with Bruce Smith, Ted Washington, and company teaching the rookie a lesson right off the bat.
Well, James told us he does not want to be compared to Ricky Williams, the Heisman Trophy winner, who was selected just after him by the New Orleans Saints. He wants to be compared to the Terrell Davises, the Jamal Andersons. Some major words for a man that has yet to appear in his first NFL game. James trying to find an opening. Able to accelerate to the 40-yard line of Buffalo. Once again, it's Holisek, this time collaborating with Sam Rogers. And a 4-yard pickup on 2nd down, setting up 3rd and 6.
With Edgerrin James, a lot of people in the Indianapolis community, when they had their pick for running back, they thought for sure they were going to take the Heisman Trophy winner, Ricky Williams. But talking with Bill Polian, he said he fits our offense much better. He does more things. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He just fits the Indianapolis Colts better. And we think in the long term, he's had half as many carries as Ricky Williams in college. He'll last longer.
And then the added pressure of replacing a guy in Marshall Faulk who was very successful here in Indy.
Absolutely.
9th play of the drive for the Colts. No score here in the first with 8:45 remaining. Manning throwing incomplete. He was looking for E.G. Green. And now the Colts face a 4th down.
Peyton Manning's not happy with the decision of throwing the ball there. He tried to thread the needle, but there are too many defenders around his wide receiver, E.G. Green.
Jim Mora, the oldest head coach in the NFL at the age of 64, his 2nd year at the helm of the Indianapolis Colts, 13th year overall as a head coach in the NFL, having spent so much time in New Orleans. Hunter Smith, rookie punter and a right-footed punter, something we'll talk about a little bit later on. Kevin Williams waiting. It will take a bounce and a roll towards the sideline, and the Colts able to pin the Bills back, put a flag on the play. Radcliffe Thomas was able to come up with the football inside the 10-yard line. We'll see what the flag indicates.
83 of the kicking team. 10 yards, repeat 4th down.
So the snapper, Bradford Banta, gets caught on his first snap of the season. Wade Phillips had to replace a legend in Buffalo, Marv Levy, and I think he certainly did the job. 10-6 in his first year. Bills were truly a surprise in 1998.
They were. He had a fabulous season last year. But looking at that picture of Wade Phillips compared to last year, I talked to Wade yesterday. He's dropped about 40 pounds. He's in excellent shape. But what he did for the Buffalo Bills last year after starting off 0-3 and getting that team to the playoffs was a magnificent coaching job.
Hunter Smith, first right-footed punter that the Colts have had since 1982. Ron Stark and Chris Gardocki were both left-footed punters. Another good punt by Smith, but this time it will roll into the end zone. And a touchback for Buffalo. We'll step aside with 8:20 remaining. First quarter, no score. Bills and Colts on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. Budweiser, guaranteed fresh with our exclusive Born On Date. And by Honda, best on earth.
We're at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, first quarter, 8:20 to play. The Bills and Colts are scoreless. Buffalo's second possession of the afternoon. First one was a strange one. Thurman Thomas took a shot from Tyrone Poole. He was forced to the locker room. Antoine Smith and Sam Gash in the backfield on a 1st and 10 from the 20. on a handoff. Smith putting his head down and trying to barrel ahead for a pickup of 3 on first down. The Buffalo offense looks like this across the line. Fina, Brown, Ostrowski stepping in at center, replacing Dusty Ziegler, who comes in at right guard, replacing the injured Joe Panos, and Robert Hickens at right tackle. Backs and receivers, Smith and Gash. Eric Moulds, a breakout year at 1998, joined by Andre Reed and Jay Remersma. A 5-receiver look for Flutie. Spread formation on a 2nd and 8. Quick throw caught by Moulds, but a modest gain on 2nd down. Moulds with a terrific grab with his left hand to bring that one in. A pickup of 5. Indianapolis defense, well, the Colts, with their president Bill Polian and head coach Jim Moore, decided that's where changes had to be made. They bring in free agents Chad Bratsky and Sean King. Bernard Whittington replaces Tony McCoy in the starting lineup. Linebackers may be an area of concern, but they do have the veteran leadership of Cornelius Bennett. And in the secondary, Burris, Cota, Belzer, and Poole. 3rd and 3. 5 receivers for Flutie to work with. Out of the shotgun. Colts showing blitz. Flags come down and the play never gets off.
John Fina, the left tackle, got an early jump for the Buffalo Bills. If you're playing on the road in the Dome, you have to concentrate. You have to go with what you're taught and don't try to get an early jump.
False start. 70 offense. 5 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
There's big John Fina on the outside, the left tackle for the Buffalo Bills. Right in there, you'll see him get the early jump to try to get back position. And it's tough for the offensive line. They're going to be matched up one-on-one because they're going to go after Doug Flutie across the board when they get in the empty backfield. That means each man has to hold up against the defender one-on-one up front.
3rd penalty on the Bills. It moves them back to the 22-yard line. 3 receivers set. On a 3rd and 8, Flutie, pump fake. Under some heat, Flutie throwing sideline to Eric Moulds, shy of the first down marker. Moulds brought it in. Ellis Johnson applied the pressure in the backfield, a 7-yard pickup, but the Bills will punt.
And they come with a zone blitz from the inside and the outside. Buffalo does not pick this up. Doug Flutie does a masterful job of ducking under the rush of Ellis Johnson and rolling to the outside. But everyone in the house, everyone on this Colt defense knows when he gets pressured and rolls out of the pocket, he's going to look for Eric Moulds.
So we see Chris Moore for the 2nd time. And Terrence Wilkins, the return man. A high punt. Wilkins moving forward. He will allow it to bounce. It takes a Colts roll. Great field position for Indianapolis at their own 49-yard line. Colts on the offensive end when we come back to Indy after these words. Back at Indy, the Colts and the Bills, no score with 5:48 to play in the first quarter.
Oh, my kind of guys. Those guys would be great hogs in the offensive line. Look at them. Eat, lick, eat, lick.
If you're curious where Mark May would be if he wasn't a broadcaster, that's pretty much it.
That's me. I'm all over that.
On a play action, Manning. Deep ball has a man wide open. E.G. Green down the sideline, makes a move into the end zone. Just shy. They will spot it at the 1. A 50-yard pass play. Manning to Green. The Bills defense was completely lost.
And it's all set up by the play action fake to running back Edgerrin James. The entire defensive secondary bid on it. They flooded the side with 2 wide receivers. Both Marvin Harrison and E.G. Green are wide open. Nobody's out there. The Bills stupefied. They all went after the fake by James on first down, but Peyton Manning carried out this fake masterfully. Shoulders down, back in the pocket, and threw the ball on a dead strike down the field of play.
3 tight ends set on a 1st and goal. Colts trying to strike first. Handoff. James, 2nd effort. And the Bills just closing in on James as he tried to propel himself towards the end zone.
And that's an eye-opener for a young running back. In college, you can get away with muscling over guys and being high. But your technique in the NFL, if that crease isn't there, you've got to lower those shoulders, get down low, and bull your way into the end zone.
No gain on first down. It will be 2nd and goal. James, 5 carries, just 2 yards. Welcome to the NFL. Manning on a handoff. Edgerrin James puts the helmet down. No signal yet. Ted Washington was the first man to put a body on him, and that's a big body at that. And no touchdown for James. He's 0 of 2.
Big Ted Williams lost a piano last year. He dropped about 30 pounds, and he's still the biggest man on the field. But on goal line and short yardage, you can't allow penetration on any running play. The Buffalo Bills do an outstanding job of staying low with their leverage, not being moved out, not giving the offensive running back, Edgerrin James, a crease to hit.
That one was very close. On a 3rd and goal. Pollard in motion. Handoff, James. 3rd time's the charm. Touchdown, Indianapolis. First NFL touchdown for Edgerrin James. And the Colts grab the lead.
And what I like most about this play, 3rd down, they didn't give up. 1st down, they tried to slam it in, it didn't work. 2nd down, they tried to slam it in, it didn't work. This breeds confidence in the entire offense. Hey, I'm trusting the guys up front. Find us a hole, slam it into the end zone. This team's raring to go.
Mike Vanderjagt, the extra point, a 4-play, 51-yard drive. And the Indianapolis Colts get a touchdown from their rookie out of Miami. They lead it 7-0.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Agilent Technologies, dreams made real, and by Blue from American Express.
The Colts opening up their 47th season in the NFL, their 16th year in Indianapolis. They have a 7-0 lead on the Buffalo Bills, and they hope this is the first of many. Edgerrin James, his first NFL touchdown. Mike Vanderjagt kicking it off. Kevin Williams will receive it from the 7. Williams finds an opening. Kevin Williams, he got sandwiched at the 35-yard line. He had a chance to maybe break that one. Montgomery and Blevins combining after the 28-yard return. Bills will try to get themselves on the scoreboard when we come back. Buffalo from their own 35, a double tight end set. Jonathan Linton is in the backfield. He'll get the call. Linton gets across the 35, up ahead to the 38. 3-yard gain on 1st down as Tyrone Poole made the tackle, and now Linton will go to the sidelines, replaced by Antoine Smith. X-rays on Thurman Thomas have come back negative. Thomas took a jarring hit on the first play from scrimmage for the Bills this season.
That was an eye-opener for Thurman Thomas to start the season off that way, but fortunately enough, he's okay. It appears he just had the wind knocked out of him. Hopefully we'll see him back.
Floating off of play action. Sideline throw. And the catch made by Moles. Pickup of 12, a 1st down. Jeff Burris with the tackle. Right now, let's get an NFL update. We head back to New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, Ian, the Packers lose Robert Brooks to retirement. They trade Derek Mays. Are they worried? No. Bill Schrader's going to step in. Jerry Glanville promises a huge year. He's on the board with a touchdown. Let's go back to Indianapolis.
And that may be one of the few times I agree with Jerry Glanville. I think that the Green Bay Packers are going to have a heck of a year under Ray Rhodes.
New coach. And Brett Favre doesn't have that support cast that he's had in past years, but he's still got the talent. Flutie on a throw. Sam Gash walking the tightrope on the sidelines, and they'll move the chains again. Another 1st down for Buffalo. Well, Doug Flutie, where did it all begin for him in a Buffalo uniform? Well, he came in against San Diego in the season opener last year, but this is really where it started. Rob Johnson, the starter, injured his ribs as Larry Chester made the sack on him, and Doug Flutie came in, led the Bills to the victory, never relinquished the starting job the rest of the year. Flutie had a magical 1998. On 1st and 10 from the 38, the ball batted down and incomplete. Chad Bratsky able to knock the ball away.
And Bratsky's one of the players that was brought in by the Indianapolis Colts in free agency to put pressure on quarterbacks and have a big year. 11 sacks last year for the New York Giants. But Doug Flutie, 5'8", 5'9", stands in the pocket. If he's going to stand directly in the pocket, the defensive lineman, if you can't get close, put those hands up. Make it difficult for him to see over your hands. Doug Flutie at his best, scrambling around, making things happen, creating his own pocket, not a drop back passer.
Field clock continues to roll, only 7 seconds left Rob Johnson was barking out instructions from the sidelines. Will the Bills get a playoff? They do. On a handoff, Jonathan Linton barreling his way for a good pickup on second down of 8 yards. So no Thurman Thomas because of the injury that he sustained earlier today. So Jonathan Linton is getting some extra time here in the first quarter as we wind down and approach the 1-minute mark.
And Jonathan Linton's a guy that they think they have got great promise in. The only problem, he fumbles the ball. Had 3 fumbles in preseason in 1 game against Seattle, but they think he's a heck of an athlete, can line up at fullback, running back at halfback, and line up out wide when they go to empty backfield as he is doing right now.
They'll go with a 5-receiver look on a 3rd and 2. Spread the field for Flutie. Here come the Colts. Flutie scrambling, avoiding the rush and throwing on the run. Mold came back for it. And a first down for Buffalo. Flutie making that happen. He is more than just a scrambler, we know, but when he has to rely upon it, he can make something happen with that ability.
And we may see this all day, throwing to Eric Moulds every time he's in trouble. It's got to drive Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, crazy. Every time they go in open backfield, they blitz someone off the outside. But Doug Flutie has been able to elude that blitz, roll to the outside, and make something happen. Here he makes a first down happen, but that's just incredible. When you can roll away from a blitz one-on-one with the defenders looking you right in the eye, turn it nothing into something, that's an outstanding play offensively by Doug Flutie.
Time has run out here in the first quarter. The Buffalo Bills on the move. End of the first. Indianapolis leading Buffalo 7-0. We'll return to the RCA Dome right after this message. Start of the second quarter here in Indianapolis. The Colts leading the Bills 7-0. Coming up next, the U.S. Open men's final. Number 2 seed Andre Agassi taking on 7th-seeded Todd Martin. That's coming up right here on CBS. Bills are in business. A 1st and 10 at the Indy 23. Here's Flutie stepping up and throwing, lofting towards the end zone, nearly intercepted. Moulds the intended man. Tyrone Poole knocked the ball up in the air. And the Colts almost had a pick.
These are the type of plays that the Colts defense didn't get last year from their cornerbacks Tyrone Poole and Jeff Burris. Now they're getting a rush by the defensive line. They can go out there and play one-on-one with the wide receivers and take a chance. But an outstanding effort by Tyrone Poole of coming back on that ball and knocking it away.
Flutie has had pressure to deal with all day, but the Colts just can't seem to bring him down. Smith and Gash in the backfield on a 2nd and 10. On the draw, Antoine Smith spinning nowhere. Ellis Johnson. A loss of 2.
And that's interesting to see. Sam Gash is the lead blocker coming out of the backfield. He just whiffed the linebacker right in front of him and went past him. That's why running back Antoine Smith had no chance of making a play. Here he is right here. He's going to fill this hole, and he's not going to touch the penetrator. Right there, he's right in front of him. Ellis Johnson, hit the first off-color jersey in front of you. Knock it out of the way. Don't let anybody get by you.
He actually blocked John Fina
in the back, his own guy. And he's one of the best in the NFL coming out of the backfield blocking.
On a 3rd and 12, Colts crowd the line. Here they come. Flutie. Safety valve is Jonathan Linton. Wow. Able to cross the 20-yard line, but shy of the first down.
I'm amazed with Doug Flutie. 2, 3, 4 defenders right in his face. He finds a way to get rid of the ball. They're going to blitz Doug Flutie. Tyrone Poole comes off the edge. They're going to make sure they put pressure on him with corners, with safeties. Right here, right in his face, there's Jeff Burris. There's Bradsky right in his face. What's he do? Gets rid of it, dumps it off to a safety valve, and picks up positive yardage.
Field goal attempt for Steve Christie, 36 yards. Christie. He bangs it through. And Buffalo scores their first points of the young season. 7-3, Indianapolis with a lead in the second. Here in Indianapolis, the Colts lead the Bills 7-3 with 13:35 to play until halftime. Buffalo with a 10-play drive, 47 yards, took up 5 minutes off the clock and culminated in a 36-yard Steve Christie field goal. Christie will kick it off. Terrence Wilkins awaits. This is Keith Elias. Elias trampled down at the 20-yard line by Darrell Porter after a 16-yard return. But so far here in the early going, Indianapolis a 3-13 team from a year ago. Buffalo 10-6. Colts have looked very comfortable on the offensive end.
And I think that's the youth of the Indianapolis Colts. Here's a team that had the lead in a lot of games last year and relinquished it late in the game. They've got to learn how to become finishers. They've got to finish ball games off, and that's where the maturity factor comes in. And I think that they're better this year doing that.
You have to imagine with a combination of Polian and Moore, this team will eventually be a winner.
You can never discount Bill Polian. He's got a track record better than any general manager in the NFL.
Edgerrin James is spun down by Pat Williams. Maybe got a half a yard on first down, if that. James has looked quite human, in fact. 8 carries, 4 yards for the rookie, 1 touchdown.
Well, he's looked like a rookie thus far. That's one thing he did not want to look like as a rookie, but he hasn't really played like a rookie. The holes haven't been there. He hasn't coughed the ball up. He hasn't really had a bad play. It's just that no one on the offensive line has given him a big enough seam to run through to make something happen.
Okay, and in preseason, keep in mind, he played just over a half of pro football, that long holdout. Here's James looking for the sideline, and not much there. He stumbled ahead for a pickup of 3 on second down. Holisek and Sean Price combining on the stop, setting up 3rd and 6.
And that's just experience with Edgerrin James. He'll find out that in college he can get to the edge and the sidelines, use his speed, and take off down the sidelines. In the NFL, the defenses are bigger, stronger, but they're much quicker getting to the point of attack.
Holisek has 6 tackles. 5 of those might be on Edgerrin James. He's been all over it. On a 3rd and 6. Out of the shotgun, Manning directing traffic. E.G. Green, the motion man. Here's Manning. Throwing. And a first down pass is made to Marvin Harrison, his favorite receiver. Ken Irvin with the coverage.
What a job by Peyton Manning, biding his time. Buffalo came with a blitz. Offensive line did a great job of securing a pocket for Peyton Manning to stand tall in the huddle, fire that ball downfield. I think in the future, this is going to be one of those pass quarterback wide receiver combinations like Swan and Bradshaw, Monk, Theismann. You're always going to be hear about Rice and Young. In the future, it'll be Harrison and Manning.
1st and 10 from the 32. James in the backfield. Manning wants to put it in the air and does. Once again, it's Marvin Harrison working the sideline with Harrison for a 7-yard gain. They're doing it with relative ease,
yeah,
Mark.
And this is how they practice. Every day at practice, they grab a football, play pitch and catch with one another every day at practice, so they know each other so well. Each's little nuances, they know where to put the ball. If I'm on an out pattern, what they did in the offseason, they took every play, 1 play a day against every defensive coverage and worked on it and broke it down. That's why they're so familiar with one another. 3
receptions already for Harrison, 24 yards and a 2nd and 3. On the give, Edgerrin James didn't have a hole to work with and nothing developed for him. Phil Hansen got him down low. You know, one thing about Marshall Faulk was a situation like that, Faulk might backtrack and try to go in an entirely different direction. Sometimes he'd lose 4 or 5 yards. Every now and again, Faulk could bust one for 25 or 30, make something out of nothing. They believe James has that kind of ability.
But he won't hurt this team as Marshall Faulk did in the past. He'll always try to get positive yardage with a positive lean.
Buffalo in the dime package. Dilger in motion. On a 3rd and 3. Shotgun formation for Manning. Manning under some pressure. Throw into some traffic, and it's incomplete. Jerome Pathan, the intended receiver. Thomas Smith denied him.
Not only the hit by Thomas Smith, the hit that Peyton Manning takes in the huddle. He just gets slobber knocked on the outside. The pressure coming from the outside right there. Boom. Gabe Northern in his face, getting down and dirty with him. Bruce Smith putting pressure on him. Peyton Manning's got to stand tall in that huddle, and he did, and that's a sign of a good quarterback. Taking a hit like that, not running away from it, standing tall in the huddle.
The punt from Hunter Smith. Kevin Williams forced to retreat inside his own 10. Here's Williams looking for the sideline. Walking the tightrope, and Williams had a chance. He was out of bounds. Flag down on the play. 53-yard punt, a 24-yard return. But this one will work against Indianapolis.
52 of the kicking team illegally downfield. The penalty is declined. First down, Buffalo. Timeout.
Bills like their field position. It's the 35-yard line. Buffalo trailing Indy 7-3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. The U.S. Navy. Let the journey begin. And by Original Cools. Expect more from an original.
7-3, Colts leading the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo on offense with a double tight end set. Flutie on first down, throwing to the sideline. And Andre Reed. His first catch in this, his 15th year in the NFL. And of Kutztown State, an aging star at the age of 35. But Reed still in tremendous condition and has really almost been like a big brother to Eric Moulds and Peerless Price, who are still learning the ropes.
He's like an extra coach on the sidelines. He coaches them up along with the coaching staff, and you've got to have a guy like that with the young wide receiver.
On 2nd and 3, working the other sideline, Eric Moulds trying to break free of the tackle from Tyrone Poole. And a first down for Buffalo into Colts territory. 20-yard hookup.
Now this isn't a play that's in the playbook. This is a play because these two work with each other at practice, go out early, spend time with one another, and this is not a route pattern. All of a sudden the ball's thrown behind Eric Moulds. He goes out on the pattern, he turns in the air, comes back on the football, makes the reception. That's something that's not a 9 route, a 7 route, a flare route. That's something that, hey, Doug Flutie, Eric Moulds, that's between those two players.
And Moulds is picking up where he left off last season, a Pro Bowl campaign. 5 catches, 51 yards today. On a 1st and 10 from the 37. Batted down. Flutie could not get it over Andre Royal. You see the scores. New England has taken the lead on the Jets. Oakland, surprisingly, in front of Green Bay. Week 1 of the National Football League's regular season. Here in Indianapolis, it's the Colts 7, Bills 3. Clock is stopped with 8:58 to play in the 2nd quarter.
So far in this game, I really like the way the Colts defense has changed over last year. They're attacking, trying to make something happen defensively.
We have seen virtually no running game whatsoever from either team. This is a 2nd and 10. Here's a pitch for Linton trying to cut it back. Jonathan Linton just shy of the 30-yard line as he gained 7 on 2nd down. Chad Cota, free agent pickup from Carolina, making the stop, the strong safety.
And that's a real nice job by Jonathan Linton of running the football. Staying where he's supposed to stay, looking at his reads. There's nothing to the outside. He cuts it back to the inside. He's a 250-pounder with sweet feet. Nice job by Linton. That 238, he's well over that. He's closer to 250.
This will be 3rd and 3 from the 30. Antoine Smith now in the backfield. Reed the motion man. Here's Flutie. Dumping one off. It's Smith making the first down catch and then some. Forced out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. Cornelius Bennett, the former Bill, chased him down. A 9-yard pickup. Linton in the backfield for Buffalo. On a 1st and 10 from the 21 of Indy. Handoff, Linton. He is brought down by Bennett, the former Bill, and what a strange trip it has been for Cornelius Bennett, originally drafted by Indianapolis, made a name for himself in Buffalo, and now Cornelius Bennett going against some of his former mates.
It's taken him 3,960 days to get in a Colt uniform from the day they drafted him, and he's still a fantastic player. 13th year in the NFL, did a great job with Atlanta last year. This is his first time ever going against the Buffalo Bills, so it's very special today for Cornelius Bennett.
I'd say that's the longest holdout in NFL history.
That's even longer than mine.
Out of the shotgun, Flutie throwing, intercepted. Jeff Burris with the pick. So the Bills seem to be on their way to putting some more points on the board. But Doug Flutie throwing the ball to Burris. First turnover.
And nothing special on this play. Doug Flutie gets good protection. The ball just gets away from him. He throws it high right there. Jeff Burris, Johnny on the spot. Not a spectacular play, but being in the area.
Indianapolis holds on to the 7-3 lead. They've got the football off the turnover. Couple of former Bills, Burris and Bennett. And Jeff Burris with the interception, had a disappointing 1998, came over as a free agent from Buffalo, and the Colts expecting a great deal more from their two cornerbacks this year, Poole and Burris. They've already paid dividends so far today. On a pitch for James, we're waiting for the first big run. There it is. James hurdling his way for a first down. 12-yard gain for Edgerrin James.
Nice run by Edgerrin James, but they got the beef out on this play. They pulled the right guard, Adam Meadows, and the right guard, Waverly Jackson, the right tackle, Adam Meadows. That's 600 pounds of beef pulling to the outside, leading the way for Edgerrin James.
11 carries, 19 yards, and a touchdown for James. First and 10 from the 46. Play action. Manning throwing. Wide open, E.G. Green. Cuts it back into Bills territory. And a new set of downs for Indianapolis to work with, a 19-yard pass play.
And a nice setup of play action. The fake by Edgerrin James gets respect from the defense. Peyton Manning rolling to his right, planting and throwing back to E.G. Green. Nice job. Standing tall in the huddle, getting rid of the ball. Good protection up front. It gives Peyton Manning a chance to see downfield. But it's Edgerrin James and his fake that the defense has to respect. They've got to take that peek inside and look if he has the ball or not.
3 catches, 80 yards for E.G. Green, who missed most of his rookie season because of injury. Now in his second year out of Florida State. Keep it on the ground. James trying to sweep it to the outside, and not much room for him to work with. Thomas Smith bringing him down for a loss of 1. Clock continues to roll. 5:20 to play here in the second quarter. Colts in front of the Bills, 7-3. Now Buffalo has not looked impressive here in the early going.
Looks like they really haven't gotten out of their preseason mold. Like they're just ready for somebody to make a play. Somebody has to make a play for them.
Remember, they started the 98 season 0-3, then won 7 of their next 8. Second and 11. 3 receiver look with Pathan now on the field for Indy. Long count for Manning. On a pump fake, Manning throwing, looking for it all. E.G. Green. He was brought down by Ken Irvin. A 27-yard hookup, and Green goes over 100 yards on the day.
And what a nice touch by Peyton Manning. He calls an audible at the line of scrimmage. Pump fake to the left to get him the bite on it. Then he looks right down the middle. Right there for E.G. Green, wide open for the first down. But it's Peyton Manning going to the line of scrimmage. He told us yesterday, they're going to have some check with me packages. That was a check with me. They had a run on, checked it off to a pass.
Take a look at that. E.G. Green had 177 yards total last year. He's got 107 in the first half of the first game this year. Handoff, James with a burst of speed up the middle. Edgerrin James down inside the 5. Ted Washington and Sam Rogers collaborating on the stop.
He's got incredible acceleration. When he plants that foot and takes off in the hole, that's the quickest I've seen for a big running back in an awful long time.
You know, we were here last year for Peyton Manning's debut against the Miami Dolphins. He looks like a different guy, Manning, 1 year later.
He's in control now. The lights come on. He knows the entire offense, what everybody's doing, and he's in command.
They flood the left side. Now with Harrison in motion. On a rollout. Manning looking in some trouble. Throws. Incomplete. E.G. Green was in the end zone. Manning couldn't find him. It'll be 3rd and goal.
He just threw that ball away, and that's a mark of maturity on Peyton Manning. Not trying to force it, not trying to make something happen. You've got good field position. Hey, throw the ball away. What I like about Peyton Manning, a lot of people don't believe that he can do this. He's got tremendous feet. He can roll right, roll left, throw on the run, rolling left. That's outstanding for a big guy like Peyton Manning at the quarterback position.
Coming up, NASDAQ halftime report. Jim Nantz, Craig James, Randy Cross, Jerry Glanville will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights, plus a report on the U.S. Open men's final. Agassi and Martin, all coming up. The NASDAQ halftime report. On 3rd and goal, Colts with a 7-3 lead, looking for more. Manning to the end zone. Touchdown, Marvin Harrison. Colts extend their lead.
And Peyton Manning had some mustard on that pass. He zapped that pass in there only where his wide receiver could get that football. But the key to this play on the offensive line, Tarek Glenn, one-on-one with a future Hall of Famer, the sack leader in the NFL, Bruce Smith, handled him one-on-one on the edge. That's what made the play work. The offensive lineman against the KG veteran allowed Peyton Manning to step up in the huddle and complete the pass for the touchdown.
Mike Vanderjagt on for the extra point. Able to curl that one through. This is not what the Bills expected. Indianapolis takes a 14-3 lead. Second quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the NASDAQ stock market.
The Colts take advantage of a Buffalo turnover, and they put another 7 on the board. 14-3, Indianapolis in front of Buffalo. The touchdown, Peyton Manning to Marvin Harrison. 7-play, 65-yard drive, eating up 3 minutes and 38 seconds. Vanderjagt on the kickoff. Kevin Williams catches at the 15. Here's Williams. Has a lane and is spun down just shy of the 40-yard line.
Take a look at the touchdown. Marvin Harrison in the slot. He's going to go by 2 defenders, a little post pattern. Peyton Manning right here. Tarek Glenn one-on-one with Bruce Smith. But watch the pattern. He splits 2. Right here, both of them, they jump on him. Makes a nice hint move to the outside, back towards the inside. Touchdown, Indianapolis Colts.
Indianapolis with the 14-3 edge, and Buffalo has looked listless, to say the least. Not looking anything like the team that was a major surprise in the NFL in 1998 with a record of 10-6. They have had absolutely no running game whatsoever. Flutie off of play action. He'll throw it. Moles had a step. Incomplete.
Time for this Buffalo Bill team to execute better. You said it just before the play. They have no running game. They've got to be able to run the ball. That's their forte. Pound it with Sam Gash, the great blocking fullback, and run the ball between the tackles.
But we talked to Wade Phillips about this yesterday. He said, hey, no reason to worry. That was preseason. We didn't put in our packages that you would normally see during the regular season. Well, we're not seeing them yet.
Not at all. And running the football is a basic fundamental. Regardless if you have your packages, then you've got to be able to run the ball.
14 rushing yards so far for Buffalo as a team. Flutie, audible, play clock. It was running down, and Flutie takes a timeout. These Colts fans are into it. 3:01 left in the first half. And this Bills team has just been in disarray.
Absolutely. And you'd think that it would be the Indianapolis Colts, because they're a young football team, to make mistakes, burn timeouts, not execute. But it's the Buffalo Bills, the veteran team, that aren't doing what they're supposed to do. Basic fundamentals. Run that football between the tackles. Joe Pendry, give it to Antoine Smith a couple of times.
Had to be at least curious about why Buffalo was interested in Lawrence Phillips during the offseason. They didn't sign him. He eventually went to San Francisco. But the Bills did show interest. Was that a statement that Antoine Smith was not the long-term answer?
I believe so. Maybe we're seeing why, because everyone thought after Antoine Smith's season last year that he was their #1 go-to guy at the running back. He displaced Thurman Thomas.
And Smith watching from the sidelines, where he has been most of the day. 3 carries, -3 yards for Smith so far. Jonathan Litton has gotten most of the action. Colts are in the dime package. On a 2nd and 10. Flutie throwing, incomplete. That was Linton, the intended receiver. He could not bring it in. And some extracurricular activities.
Dusty Ziegler down there, the offensive guard. He was their starting center last year, but replaced by Jerry Ostrowski, their starting tackle last year for the Buffalo Bills. He's getting a start because of the injury to Joe Panos, and he's probably letting out some frustration because he's earned the right to start in the NFL, and he was benched just because of a move the coaches wanted to make. But I love this stuff. Hey, give him an extra shot, Dusty. There you go. Give him another shot. Get in there. Stay in your turf. That's my man.
Sean King is not your man, apparently.
Nah, he's on the other side. Defensive guys, forget it.
On 3rd and 10, Flutie on the blind side, did not see the defensive player coming and could not make the connection to Kevin Williams. Flutie again under some pressure, and the Indianapolis Colts just gaining momentum as this game goes on.
Indianapolis Colts, Tito Wooten, number 28 on the outside, along with number 29, Jason Belzer. Right there, they get around Riemersma, the tight end blocking, and both of them put pressure on Doug Flutie. Here's the defense. They're not wasting anything. They're bringing safeties, corners, linebackers to pressure quarterback Doug Flutie.
Third punt of the day for Chris Moore. Terrence Wilkins moving ahead. He got licked. Flags come down. Terrence Wilkins, the rookie, just took a blow. Darryl Porter on Buffalo special teams.
And that's just uncalled for. You've got a return man in a defenseless position. He's not looking at the return. He's looking at the ball. Right here, Terrence Wilkins, the rookie. He's not worried about anything. And right there, a shot like that by Darryl Porter, that's uncalled for. Who's he going to go after next? The water boy? That's just not fair. That's not right.
Interference, the opportunity to make a catch, 15 yards, first down.
And I can guarantee you one thing, the NFL will look at this in the office on Monday, and he may get fined because of that hit.
Mark, you said it earlier. Which team is the young, inexperienced group? Certainly doesn't look like Indianapolis. It's Buffalo making the mental errors and not executing on the offensive end. Colts just finding their groove now. With 2:41 to play in the second quarter, they already lead it 14-3. Good field position as they line up at their own 48-yard line. Three receivers set for Manning. Edgerrin James. James ran into his own man, Waverly Jackson, as Ted Washington brought him down after a pickup of 3. Thursday, September 23rd on CBS, the creator of Ally McBeal and the practice is checking into Chicago Hope. There'll be a new attitude, new faces, and a whole new hope. Don't miss the season premiere Thursday, September 23rd on CBS, America's most watched network. Clock is moving, approaching the 2-minute mark. 2nd and 7, 3 receivers. Manning throwing on a slant. Marvin Harrison, the intended man, incomplete. It was too low. So Terrence Wilkins, who took a jarring blow in his first NFL action. He's a rookie out of Virginia, made this team as a free agent. Might be hearing a buzz in that eardrum.
Not only a buzz, it's one of those hits where I can remember taking hits like that. It's like, Ma, is that you on the sidelines in front of me? And the trainer's waving in front of your eyes. How many fingers do I have up? 2, and he's got 6. That's close enough. Put your helmet on and go back in.
You break out some video. You never took a hit like that. It's funny. As the days go by and your NFL career becomes a distant memory.
The older I get, the better I was.
Exactly. Manning underneath the coverage to Jerome Pathan, but not nearly enough for a first down. They did get into Buffalo territory, but they hit the 2-minute warning. And they face a 4th down. A minute 58 to play. First half. Indianapolis with a 14-3 lead. Here at the RCA Dome, the Colts lead the Bills 14-3 as we inch closer to halftime. And coming up, the NASDAQ halftime report. Jim Nantz, Greg James, Randy Cross, and Jerry Glanville will get you caught up on all the scores and highlights around the NFL, plus a report on the U.S. Open. The men's final today, right here on CBS, between Andre Agassi and Todd Martin. That's all coming up. The NASDAQ halftime report. Wade Phillips' team has been overmatched here in the first half of action. They had the number 2 rushing offense in the AFC last year. It's been non-existent so far in the first half. Hunter Smith on a high punt. Kevin Williams will allow it to take a bounce. Out of bounds. They will spot the football right around the 20-yard line, and that's where the Bills will have it with a minute 50 to work with. Football season is here. Get a complete and in-depth look inside the NFL with team-by-team breakdowns and Week 1 recaps. When you've got to know more on the NFL, you know where to go. Log on to cbs.sportsline.com. Well, the magic that was 1998 for Doug Flutie. This is a new year. Flutie often feels like he's got to prove himself every time he takes the football field, but he did say that this preseason was more relaxed for him.
Not only that, I think defenses are starting to figure Doug Flutie out. That's why some are going to have success or better success against him this year.
A 3-receiver look. Linton in the backfield. Bills are down 14-3. trying to set up the screen. Litton could not bring it in cleanly. Ellis Johnson was there, as was Andre Royal.
Good pressure by the defensive front of the Indianapolis Colts, getting through, putting pressure on quarterback Doug Flutie. But the offensive line in the screen, you've got to hold at least a 2 count. Solid hold on the line, back up, solid hold again, back up, then let the rusher through thinking he's got a pass rush. You've got to be an actor against screens on that play. The offensive line of Buffalo, they were not going to get an Emmy or an Oscar for this play.
Now 5 straight incomplete passes for Doug Flutie. Now 9 of 19, 87 yards overall in the first half. This is 2nd and 10. Out of the shotgun, 5 receivers. From the 20, Flutie throwing to the sideline, brought in by Reed. Let's see where they spot the football. Looks like enough for the first down. Yes, indeed. New set of downs for Buffalo as the clock continues to roll. 11-yard hookup. 1:30 and counting left in the second quarter. Bills trying to line up. Once again, 5 receivers. Flutie, quick throw underneath Eric Moulds. He'll create after the catch. Moulds cutting it back, trying to get down the sideline, and he's finally brought down in Indianapolis territory. 24-yard pass play.
What a move by Eric Moulds. That's what we used to call a flu jockey. Flew right by him, right by his jockey. Right here, he'll catch the ball, makes a great move there, but here, the quickness, the speed, making moves, getting positive yardage. That's what I like about Eric Moulds. Once he touches the football, he's going towards the goal line.
6 catches, 76 yards for the Pro Bowler, Eric Moulds. Now a premier deep threat in the NFL. He exploded last year with 1,368 yards receiving, a new team record. He led the AFC in that category. Play clock winding down. Flutie gets it off in time. Flutie on a scramble. Flutie, tuck and run to the sideline, out of bounds. Stops the clock with 1:05 left, first half. 5-yard scamper for Doug Flutie.
And the reason why Doug Flutie had his scamper is because the secondary, the linebackers that dropped off into coverage, did an outstanding job of covering the Buffalo wide receivers. Doug Flutie did not have to scramble on this play. No pressure. They only rushed 3 defensive linemen. He had enough time to set up, find somebody downfield, but the coverage of that Colt defense, which is vastly improved over last year, not just the blitz, I think their coverage skills are much better this year.
Line of scrimmage just shy of the 40-yard line. Bills still have 2 timeouts to work with on a 2nd and 5. Trying to get some points back on the board before they go to the locker room. Flutie knocked down from behind, and a flag goes down as he threw the ball away. Chad Bratsky applying the pressure. Colts want intentional grounding.
That's going to be holding.
Holding. 79 offense. 10 yards. Repeat 2nd down.
Big Reuben Brown for the Buffalo Bills, and there's no reason to hold. They only rushed 2 rushers. You've got 5 offensive linemen. Look at this. They're going to rush just a handful of rushers. On the outside, 1 pulls up on the line of scrimmage. But a nice move by Bratsky, getting by Reuben Brown, slapping his hands down and making a nice move inside towards the quarterback.
Colts with a major upgrade at right end this year with Bratsky. Bills now with their 5th penalty. And they'll back it up back into Buffalo territory. Bratsky had 11 sacks for the Giants last year, now earning more than $5 million a season as a member of the Colts. Flutie on 2nd and 15. On a scramble, sideline throw. Peerless Price came back for the football, and he makes the catch at the 30-yard line, a first down for Buffalo. Price, who was the recipient of 7 touchdown passes 2 years ago from Peyton Manning at Tennessee.
We talked to Doug Flutie yesterday, and he told us that Peerless Price, not the fastest guy in the world, but he's learned from Andre Reed. Make precise routes. Make your point. Make your hint cut. Turn back. Look for the ball. That's what Peerless Price does, and I think he's going to be an excellent addition to this Buffalo offense over the course of time.
Had a very impressive camp, and certainly Peyton Manning is familiar with the routes that Peerless Price runs.
He's not too happy on the sidelines about that catch. It's not like he's cheering for his ex-teammate, Peerless Price.
24 seconds left. Second quarter. They'll change the clock now with 52 seconds left. 24 did seem rather strange. Indianapolis with a 14-3 lead on Buffalo. And just under a minute to play, first half. Now 1 timeout remaining for the Bills as they just used their 2nd. Jim Mora has to be happy with the effort that he has seen so far in the first half. Wade Phillips, I think he's feeling quite the opposite.
And after talking to Jim Mora, I don't think he's ever happy.
Yeah, good point. We asked him, do you feel like your team's improved? Nope. Same as last year.
Have to wait till we find out on Sunday.
It's a mystery. Well, Mora, your team is improved. On a 1st and 10 now for Buffalo from the 29. Flutie able to make the connection to Peerless Price on consecutive passes. Modest gain. A pickup of 3 on 1st down. He did go out of bounds, stopping the clock with 49 seconds left, 2nd quarter. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Bills.
Wade Phillips isn't too happy the way this is going for the Buffalo Bills, but he's a player's coach. When we spoke with Bruce Smith, he was telling us, hey, the difference between Marv Levy and Wade Phillips is Marv used to come in and tell us history stories about wars and battles and get us fired up before the game. Wade's a people person. He'll go and he'll talk to everybody individually and just say, hey, do your job, guys. This is what we need you to do. And the players really like that because that communication is between player and coach.
2nd and 7 from the 26. Flutie again under some heat. Flutie will run it, looking for a block downfield, and he scoots out of bounds. After a 1st down run for Doug Flutie, 8-yard pickup, and the Bills are moving the football. They are now deep in Colts territory.
And that's a wonderful job by Doug Flutie, looking downfield, asking for blocking help, pulling the ball down, and getting the 1st down for the Buffalo Bills. I don't think he really had to scramble. 4 rushers came. He had blockers. All he had to do was step up and find a receiver. Looks to me, thus far, Doug Flutie's trying to run more than hang in the pocket and throw a pass downfield.
2 rushes, 13 yards. Line of scrimmage is the 18-yard line. Linton in the backfield. 3 receivers set. Flutie. Heavy pressure to deal with, provided by Ellis Johnson. And a flag comes down.
What a job by Ellis Johnson, splitting 2 offensive blockers, going right between them, getting to quarterback Doug Flutie.
Once again, we'll hear from our umpire, or referee, Ron Blum. Seems to be some confusion over exactly what took place.
I don't think there's a receiver in the area to catch the ball, and I think they're discussing it now if one was close enough or not.
He was talking to his back judge, Kirk Dornan.
Holding, 97 defense, 5 yards, an automatic 1st down.
Bennett shaking his head, saying there's no way that was me.
He doesn't believe it.
So now with 40 seconds to play here in the 1st half, the ball spotted inside the 15-yard line at the 13.
Cornelius on the outside. We'll take a look. He's on Riemersma. Has his hands on him. Past 5 yards. That's close. That's very close.
Not a catchable ball. The ball was deflected. 5 receivers. 6 defensive backs for the Colts. Here's Flutie. Deep drop. Sidearm throw. It's Riemersma. Flag comes down in the backfield as Riemersma made the catch at the 10. And Riemersma and Andre Royal got tied up following the play. This one's against Buffalo. Hold it.
Tell you what, Ellis Johnson is putting pressure on Doug Flutie, but he's giving.
Holding, 79 offense, 10 yards, repeat 1st down.
The all-pro Ruben Brown fits, Ian. He told us when we talked to him, he said, it's a great fight. It's an all-day sucker against Ruben Brown. You got to bring a lunch bucket, but I love to fight him because it's 4 quarters of a fight. But he's giving Ruben Brown right now all he can handle.
3 straight Pro Bowls for Ruben Brown. His brother Cornell, a linebacker with the Baltimore Ravens. And this one cost the Bills some valuable yardage. It's 1st and 20. 35 ticks of the clock left in the 1st half. Flutie will buy some extra time out of the shotgun. Here come the Colts. Incomplete. Riemersma could not haul it in. Jason Belzer with the coverage and may have played a role in the ball popping loose.
I believe that ball was a little behind Riemersma, right behind him, but that's a catchable ball. You're supposed, when the ball touches your hands, as any wide receiver, tight end, running back, when you put your hands on the ball, you're supposed to catch it.
Riemersma is now the elder statesman of the tight end corps at the age of 26 in his 3rd year. That's because there are 2 rookies backing him up. Bobby Collins out of North Alabama and Sheldon Jackson out of Nebraska. This is 2nd and 20. Underneath the coverage, Eric Moles out of bounds. Just shy of the 10-yard line. So again, some words being exchanged following the play. Now, the Buffalo Bills handled the Colts last year, sweeping the season series. And they really have controlled the series in recent years. They've won 4 straight. Buffalo has defeated Indianapolis in 7 of the last 8. Bills lead the all-time series with a mark of 33-23-1, 14-4 against the Colts in the 90s. This is 3rd and 8. 10th play of the drive. Flutie. Throwing. End zone. Incomplete. Riemersma, the intended man. Jason Belzer was there.
He's upset on that play. I think there was some contact before the ball got there. It looked like a defender went over his shoulders and over his helmet to go for that football. We'll take another look at it. But nice job of protection. It's supposed to be a quick out to get rid of the ball. Doug Flutie can't find his first outlet, goes to the end zone, and right there, Jason Belzer was all over Jay Riemersma. I think he's got a pretty good case on that ball.
Belzer making his 71st consecutive start, and he may have gotten away with one. This will be a 29-yard attempt for Steve Christie. The Buffalo Bills settle for the field goal. They cut into the Colts lead, but Indianapolis has the 14-6 edge. Well, Wade Phillips, easygoing manner as we know. Don't know if you can say the same for Jay Riemersma right now.
He's still upset. I think he's got a pretty good case. There was contact before the ball got there, and that cost his team 4 points. But hey, you've got to forget about it. As a professional athlete, when that happens, dust it off. You've got another half to go. Just forget about that play and come out and play football.
Buffalo Bills 3-1 in the preseason, but they weren't thrilled with everything that they saw leading up to the regular season. And there was this supposed quarterback controversy in Buffalo with Doug Flutie and Rob Johnson. We talked to Wade Phillips about it yesterday. He said, hey, there was no controversy. They just never asked me who the starter was.
And that's right. And he said, I just wanted to get both quarterbacks ready to play. Not only both quarterbacks, but I wanted to get the rest of the team to know, hey, if Doug Flutie can't go, Rob Johnson's our quarterback if there's an injury. But I wanted to get everybody used to Rob Johnson in the preseason just in case something were to happen. But they split time. Both had equal time in the preseason. But I know Wade Phillips knew Doug Flutie was a star.
He's the quarterback of the future. 5-year, $25 million deal. Has to be the highest paid backup, as we know, in the NFL at that position.
Not a bad job to carry a clipboard. I think I could do that. That's me.
Johnson's only 25 years old. Flutie will be 37 in October. And that's something that Phillips did mention to us yesterday.
But in the NFL, you have to have 2 starting quarterbacks. Your backup is almost a starter.
Christie bounces it to an up man for Indianapolis, Scott Green. And Green able to inch himself into Buffalo territory with 11 seconds left. Colts may have a crack at throwing one towards the end zone. Coming up tonight on 60 Minutes, a Russian KGB agent comes out of the shadows and reveals in detail how the Kremlin planned to wipe us out. Won't want to miss that. 60 Minutes tonight here on CBS. So the football at the 49-yard line of Buffalo. See what the Colts decide to do. Either take a knee or maybe take one crack at it. Showing a 4-receiver look, so Peyton Manning will put it in play. Manning under some heavy pressure. Chased down by Hanson, and Manning is forced to throw it away with 6 seconds left, second quarter.
I think if they had a chance to redo that play, I think they would have probably taken a knee. You don't want to take a chance of getting your quarterback hurt just before you go into halftime, but it's communication up front. Phil Hansen, they rushed 4 linemen. Somebody has to block him. He went through unscathed and got to the quarterback. Phil Hansen's a guy that had a bad knee injury last year in the playoffs. They didn't know if he was going to be able to come back and play. Had 3 sacks in one of the preseason games, and talking to Ted Cottrell, the defensive coordinator, he said he knew at that point Phil Hansen was back at 100% ready to play.
And he was named one of the captains of this defensive unit along with Henry Jones. So a timeout has been taken by Indianapolis. They still have 2 remaining. Only 6 seconds left, second quarter. And the Colts coming off back-to-back 3-13 seasons. Indianapolis has been impressive so far. First half. Inching closer to halftime. We'll come back to the RCA Dome in a moment. Indianapolis with a 14-6 lead on Buffalo. Just 6 seconds remaining. Maybe the Colts will look for a sideline pass of 15 or more yards and put themselves in a position to possibly kick a field goal. Mike Vanderjagt does have a very strong leg. Manning has the protection on a rollout. This will be the final play, first half, airing it towards the end zone. And intercepted. Manny Martin coming up with the INT, and for Manning that won't look good on the statistics, but for all intents and purposes it meant very little. End of the first half with a score, Indianapolis 14, Buffalo 6. Coming up, the NASDAQ halftime report. Stay tuned for that here on CBS.
This presentation of the NASDAQ halftime report is sponsored by the NASDAQ stock market.
All right, the NFL's 80th season is underway. Jim Nantz with you. NASDAQ halftime report from our studios in New York. And at halftime, the Colts lead it over the Bills. We got some big stories brewing. More on that in just a moment. Let me introduce the crew again. Here's Craig James, Randy Cross, Jerry Glanville. How about the first half of that game in Indianapolis?
It's pretty special so far for the Colts. That defense is playing very strong. They've held Antoine Smith to -3 yards rushing. If you can do that against Doug Flutie, the way he can throw the ball, that means he can't get it down the field. It's short passes. It's death for them if you can keep doing it.
All right, guys, but here's the big story today. It's just been confirmed 30 seconds ago. We received official word from the Jets. Vinny Testaverde is out for the year with a ruptured Achilles tendon. And Craig James, tell everybody how it happened.
Well, unfortunately, here he's going to hand off to Curtis Martin, and Martin's going to fumble. What you don't see in the picture frame is Vinny plants, and he tries to go back to recover the fumble, and he blows it out. We knew right here as soon as it happened, as tough as he is, that it was going to be probably a season-ending injury. That now being confirmed. That means now for the Jets, they've got to have their playmakers step up. Keyshawn Johnson on the next play from Tom Tupa, the punter, the number 2 quarterback today. The touchdown pass 25 yards out. The Jets, the whole landscape in the NFL changes, especially in the AFC.
And this AFC East audience, the Buffalo and Indianapolis audience, certainly impacted, their teams impacted by this injury, ending injury for the year for Testaverde. All right, elsewhere, Oakland with a touchdown from Randy Jordan, a yard out. They missed 2 field goals, Oakland on the road, but they're winning. Ray Rhodes' debut, the Packers have been flat except for one brief moment. Favre to Bill Schrader. And Jerry, the Raiders have run the football on the road against Green Bay.
I think they're taking advantage of the over-aggressive Packer defense. Here's a counter-toss sweep to Napoleon Kaufman. Picks up big yardage running downfield. And another back that's having a big day for the Raiders, Tyrone Wheatley.
It all adds up to a Raider lead as they've started the third quarter at Lambeau Field. Kansas City and Chicago, the Bears' young players are starring, including Curtis Enos and Kate McDowell, who's come in. Dick Geron, you got to love the attitude here today at Soldier Field, Randy.
Yeah, hey, you know what? These guys have picked it up. Curtis Enos doesn't get in the end zone very often. They told him to lose weight. He's lost about 35 pounds, and now they're going to let him play and run the football and catch it.
They're up big on the Chiefs. They've just started the third quarter. Titans defense, 2 picks, a safety on a blocked punt, and McNair has starred. He's accounted for 3 touchdowns, 2 by the air. The Ravens and the Rams, Kurt Warner, 2 touchdowns. He looks good there, Jerry, the new quarterback for the Rams.
And what he's done because of his passing, they've doubled the time of possession, and he's really doing a great job of reading the defense, putting the ball where it's got to go.
There's a wild one in Washington. Dallas and the Redskins. Brad Johnson, the new quarterback right here, Craig. Over 200 yards for Washington, but they're down a point at halftime.
Very creative. North Turner versus Chan Gailey. They're trying to play the chess match on offense.
This one might surprise a lot of people. Eagles all over the Cardinals. Plummer has been picked twice. And Doug Peterson, his debut as a starter for Philadelphia, 2 touchdown passes. And the Saints, Panthers, they're tied at halftime, but Ricky Williams is getting x-rayed right now. What's the story there, Coach?
Bad ankle, and he had 10 carries for 40 yards, and he went off on a golf cart.
All right. Thanks for watching the NASDAQ Halftime Report, and we'll send you back to Indianapolis when we continue with the NFL on CBS in just a moment.
Back here in Indianapolis, it's halftime. The Colts leading the Bills by the count of 14-6 here at the RCA Dome. Welcome back, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Mark May, and a sluggish first half for the Buffalo Bills. I don't think anybody really expected this. We knew Indianapolis was an improved team from a year ago, but Buffalo has not looked like the playoff team that they were in 1998.
Not at all, and I think it relies on them running the football. They haven't been able to do that. Last year, they were sticking the football right at the core of the Indianapolis defense and picking up big chunks of yardage with their running back, Antoine Smith. This year, he's only touched the ball a handful of times.
And we figured a storyline heading into this game would be the pro debut of Edgerrin James, and he has shown some flashes, does have a touchdown, but really, it has been the combination of Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison on the offensive end, E.G. Green as well, and this Indianapolis defense looking like a completely different unit from the one we saw last year.
Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, he's made tremendous strides with his defense. One, in free agency with Bill Polian bringing in all the talent, and two, with his coaching techniques and schemes, they put pressure on the quarterback. Doug Flutie's been running for his life the entire half.
Have to believe Buffalo will show you something in the second half of action offensively. They were one of the more creative offensive units in the game last year, and we really haven't seen that, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that Mark mentioned running game just isn't there.
You've got to be able to establish the run. When they go to the empty backfield, no running back in the backfield, 5 wide receivers, the Indianapolis Colts, the first thing they do is blitz, get after the quarterback, make Doug Flutie throw that ball before he has a chance to look downfield to complete it to one of his wide receivers.
Wade Phillips had a chance to chat with his team at halftime, and we'll see if Buffalo looks like a new team here in the second half. Colts leading at 14-6. Christie on the kickoff. Keith Elias fields from the 7. Elias looking for the angle. Little shake and bake move for Elias as he comes up just shy of the 30-yard line. A 20-yard return. Antoine Winfield makes the tackle on special teams. Take a look at the halftime stats. Rushing yards, 27 for the Bills, only 24 for the Colts. And the passing yards, 158 for Buffalo. The numbers can be deceiving, though, because time of possession has gone in the Colts' favor, and turnovers as well. On a 1st and 10 from the 28. Edgerrin James cutting it back. James gets out across the 35-yard line. Adam Meadows laid out the block for him, an 8-yard pickup.
It's nice to see the offense of the Indianapolis Colts coming out the first play, establishing the run, getting it to James, letting him feel comfortable in this offense, but the offensive line staying on their blocks. When we talked to Edgerrin James 2 weeks ago, he said for the offensive line, all I want you to do is stay on your blocks, and I will find a way to make positive yards.
James remains in the game on a 2nd and 2. On the ground, James, the sweep. Couldn't quite get to the outside. He was spun down by Sam Coward, but he did have enough for a first down. 4-yard run for James.
Spun down. He was hog-tied by Sam Coward. That was a heck of a tackle. He had him by the shoulder pad, spun him around, and threw him down.
We talked to Coward yesterday. He was a running back in high school, and he said he tries to think like a running back, and he likes to take chances. Sometimes they pay off. Sometimes they don't. It paid off there.
That was an excellent tackle by Sam Coward. Bruce Smith got penetration in the backfield. Edgerrin James had to take it outside. Sam Coward did a great job of reading that play and getting to the outside.
New set of downs for the Colts. They lead 14-6. Manning straight back. Long throw. Down the sideline. Marvin Harrison couldn't hold on to it. Ken Irvin, the coverage.
And that was a heck of a play by quarterback Peyton Manning, standing tall in the huddle. But on the outside, nice move by Marvin Harrison. It's just one-on-one. Beat Ken Irvin to the outside and run him. Outrun him to the side. Ball's right in his hands. He should catch that ball. But Peyton Manning, he gets 400 pounds of beef laying right on top of him. Ted Washington right there. Boom. That's got to hurt. That's a half a building.
In some small cities, that's a full building. It's funny, Bruce Smith told us yesterday that he thought Peyton still had happy feet. We haven't seen it here in the opener in 1999.
Not at all. He's looking down the field. He's taking that hit in the pocket, just like a veteran quarterback.
On 2nd and 10, James trying to struggle for extra yardage as he picked up maybe 2 on the play. Marcellus Wiley was the first man to greet him. It's been a struggle for James here today. 14 carries, 24 yards, does have the touchdown, but certainly not the explosiveness that we were expecting to see in his pro debut.
Not yet, but there's poise in this offense for a young football team. And you saw Edgerrin James coming back telling the offensive lineman, just a little bit more. Give me just a little bit more and I'm gone. And they're out there having fun right now. They're working on techniques instead of worrying about the Buffalo Bills beating this team. And that's what you like to see from a young team. They want to get better.
3rd and 8. Faith in the motion man. Here's Manning buying some time in the shotgun. Underneath, Ken Dilger. The tight end was not as involved a year ago catching the football. They'd like to get more involved. That's a first down reception. Kurt Schultz, the free safety on the tackle.
And quarterback Peyton Manning took another big hit, but he stood in the pocket, threw the ball where he had to. He looked to a second look. He looked to the outside, nobody there, came across the middle on a little drag by tight end Ken Dilger, catches the ball for the first down. But what I like about Peyton Manning, not just standing in the huddle, not just standing in the pocket tall, I like the zip he's got on the ball this year. He seems more confident just throwing the football.
In Buffalo territory, line of scrimmage, the 45. On a 1st and 10 for Indy. Bills crowd the line, showing blitz. Play action. Manning, misdirection, throwing on the other side. It's Marvin Harrison. Harrison, little fake as he gets to the 30-yard line, and another first down for the Colts. 15-yard hookup.
And what a job by execution of the entire offense. Going with the flow, good fake by the quarterback. Running back makes an excellent fake. The offensive line, they sell it, but Marvin Harrison goes across the field. They don't think that Peyton Manning will throw back across the grain. Well, he did on this play, right to Marvin Harrison for another Colt first down.
1st and 10 at the 30. They bought in on the fake as well. Everybody leaned towards that side. It allowed Manning to find Harrison. On the handoff. Edgerrin James trying to sidestep a tackler. Couldn't do so as Bruce Smith brought him down, a 2-yard gain.
There's Ted Cottrell, the defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. He must be a little frustrated with his defensive rush on the line and his secondary's coverage. E.G. Green's been open the entire afternoon, so is Marvin Harrison. He wants the guys up front, those guys right there, the big nasties, Ted Washington, Bruce Smith, Phil Hansen, put pressure on that quarterback, Peyton Manning. Make him throw, get him out of rhythm, make him throw before he wants to throw the football.
Also, the Colts have been converting on 3rd downs, which will always bother a defensive coordinator. 6 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. Manning floats one upstairs. E.G. Green, did he trap it? Yes, he did. No catch. Sam Rogers applied the pressure.
Peyton Manning being pressured again, gets the ball out there. It's just a hair short for E.G. Green to come back on the ball, but that would have been a heck of a play if he could come up with it. The ball hits the turf. What I like about the play, Peyton Manning under pressure, under fire iron, looking and finding wide receivers open.
Here's another 3rd down opportunity. Green has had a big afternoon, by far the best day he has had as a pro. Dilger, the motion man. Did they get the playoff? Yes, they did. Manning throwing. End zone, nobody home. Incomplete. Marvin Harrison was in the vicinity, but the Colts unable to convert on that 3rd down, and Buffalo holds.
It seems at this point both teams are listless. Nobody's fired up out there, excited to make a play. It's quiet here in the dome. Everybody's expecting someone to make something else happen. I think Indianapolis doing a great job. Their offensive coordinator and Tom Moore mixing it up, going with the play action, running the football, throwing the ball deep, keeping the Buffalo defense off balance.
Here's a 46-yard field goal attempt for Mike Vanderjagt. He was 6 of 9 from anything over 50 yards last year. That one was blocked. Ball loose. Buffalo able to trample on it and finally spun down at the 44-yard line. So the Bills making something happen.
That's all it takes is a play like that to get it turned around for your team. Here's the field goal attempt. Right up the middle, Phil Hansen getting a hand on the ball. Outstanding block with one big paw, slapping that ball down.
Thomas Smith eventually came up with it, and Phillips is looking for something to motivate his team. Maybe that was it. Kickoff 99, the NFL regular season. We join you today from the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. Ian Eagle, Mark May, our entire CBS crew on hand. 1st and 10 for the Buffalo Bills, trailing 14-6. They open up in Indianapolis territory. Antoine Smith looking for his first strong run of the day, and there it was. Michael Barber, the middle linebacker, making the tackle, a 4-yard gain, a hard-earned 4-yard pickup for Antoine Smith. The running game has not been there for Buffalo, but the Bills with tremendous field position, and a lot of that has to do with the special teams play, blocking the field goal.
That's Bruce DeHaven, the special team coach for the Bills, getting the guys fired up, saying that's the play that can turn us around. Get fired up, get into the game. Special teams coaches got to love those guys. They can make the game turn around on one play.
Another carry for Smith. Barber again with a stop as he extended the arms to right around the 37-yard line. Maybe a little shy of that. Pickup of 3. It'll be 3rd and 4 coming up. And the first field goal that has been blocked for the Bills since 1996, and Bruce Smith, who did it right here at the RCA Dome. Smith goes to the sideline. That's Antoine Smith. 5 carries, just 3 yards for him. Facing a 3rd and 4. Linton in the backfield. Double tight end set for Flutie. Back to throw. Flutie has time. On a rollout. Trying to thread the needle on the sideline. It's incomplete. Andre Reed was covered by Jeff Burris.
Nice job of coverage by the entire defensive secondary, making Doug Flutie roll out. He's not pressured. He doesn't have to roll out here. Good protection by the offensive line. Stay in the pocket. The offensive line doesn't know where you are. He rolls out, tries to make something happen, but good coverage. A nice job of coverage by Jeff Burris for the Indianapolis Colts.
4th punt of the day for the Buffalo Bills. Jerome Pathan now waiting. Keep in mind, Wilkins took a huge hit earlier. And Chris Moore punts it away, looking for the corner. Takes a roll into the end zone. Flag comes down. So Indianapolis may have it at their own 20. 38-yard punt, net of only 18 for Moore, who has not had a banner day. Holding against the Colts. We'll get the exact word from Ron Blum.
Well, the kick was in the air, holding number 20 of the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down, timeout.
Jeff Burris called for the hold. And the clock is stopped with 8:49 to play. 3rd quarter. Indianapolis 14, Buffalo 6. We're back to the RCA Dome in a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. Nike, and by the new larger Saturn L Series.
(14-6), Indianapolis leading Buffalo. Colts with their worst field position of the day. 8:49 mark, 3rd quarter. 1st and 10 from their own 10. And some movement. Manning could not handle the snap. Able to trounce on it. A flag on the play. Saw some movement on the left side of the Buffalo defensive line. Potentially the right side of the Indianapolis offensive line.
Offside. Defense. 99. 5 yards. Repeat first down.
Gabe Northern, the outside backer.
Gabe Northern at the top of the screen up there, trying to get a little lean right there, a little jump. He can't hold his balance, and he crosses the line of scrimmage.
Try that tippy toe deal.
The little tippy toe thing.
Didn't work.
Tightrope.
7 penalties and cost the Bills 55 yards. Here's James. Edgerrin James bouncing off a tackler. Here's James down the sideline, cutting it back. Edgerrin James into Buffalo territory. A late flag came down after a 40-yard run from James. A burst, bouncing off one tackler. And a face mask has been called against Buffalo.
Another penalty for the Buffalo Bills, but Edgerrin James, don't try to arm tackle this young man.
face mask, foul, 20, defense, 5 yards, first down.
That's the run that the crowd's been looking for. Let him power and bull his way through a hole, pick his spots. Right here, Adrian James makes the move to the left, goes through the hole with power, running over defenders, through and around defenders, and then the speed to take the ball down the sidelines, make something happen, cut back, and get more positive yardage and tack on some more yardage with a penalty on it. That's what we've been waiting for to see out of the first pick, Adrian James.
And that's what one run can do for you, because now the numbers look very respectable. 19 carries, 81 yards. James wants more. Edgerrin James takes the hit on the sideline. 16-yard pickup. Another first down for Indy.
Wow. And that's some beef pulling to the outside. Left guard Steve McKinney, left tackle Tara Glenn. A down block by the tight end. Pull the big beef around, get him out in front, and let the big man follow the big guys up front. That's how you get positive yardage. That's fun football for an offensive team.
The hair is creeping through the helmet. Edgerrin James, 20 carries, 97 yards, and a touchdown. We'll tell you about Marshall Faulk's pro debut in a moment. Play action, Manning looks for it all, down the middle, caught, touchdown, Marvin Harrison. You want to talk about bang, bang. Buffalo defense didn't know what hit them.
And that's execution offensively. Offensive coordinator Tom Moore. Run the ball right, run the ball left, fake the ball right, play action, get those safeties to bite right there. 20, you see him biting up on the fake, and Marvin Harrison hits the seam on the post pattern, splitting the defenders. Touchdown, a perfect throw by quarterback Peyton Manning, but it was the execution of the offense, running the ball, making the defense respect the run.
Second time that Manning and Harrison have hooked up for touchdowns. Indianapolis with a 21-6 lead. A bit of a surprise in the opener. There haven't been many celebrations as far as football is concerned here in Indianapolis in recent years. This crowd is juiced up, and the Colts are clicking. Kevin Williams receives from the 10. Williams could not get to the outside untouched, and a flag comes down, a late hit. 16-yard return. Billy Austin. He was the man responsible.
Unnecessary roughness, late hit, 47 of the kicking team, 15 yards, first down.
He's in his first year out of New Mexico, and he's going to learn his lesson very quickly from Jim Mora. Breaking the action with the Colts in front, 21-6. We're coming back after these words.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Microsoft. Where do you want to go today? And by Fidelity Investments. We help you invest responsibly.
The Bills with good field position following the Billy Austin late hit. First and 10 from the 40 to open this drive for Buffalo, but they trail 21-6. Still a lot of time left. 7:14 remaining in the third. On the handoff for Jonathan Linton, and he lost yardage. Mark Thomas. He was there to greet him, and Linton is slow to get up. Keep in mind, Thurman Thomas was lost on the first play from scrimmage, injured ribs. X-rays came back negative, but we have not seen Thomas again here this afternoon.
And they only carried 4 active running backs on the roster, so Jonathan Linton has to find a way to stay in that huddle for Wade Phillips and the Buffalo Bills.
2nd and 11. Linton remains in the backfield. 3 receivers. Here come the Colts. Flutie steps up and fires to the sideline, and it's brought in by Reed. A first down catch for Andre Reed, 15 yards into Colts territory.
One thing about Andre Reed, he may have lost a step going deep, but he still runs some of the best routes in the NFL. He's one of the best at the wide receiver position of that stop and turn, and he knows the timing when that ball's going to be there. But Doug Flutie taking another shot from Ellis Johnson, just throwing him around like a rag doll.
Ellis Johnson remembers what the AFC Championship was like here in Indy. He was a rookie that year. He is bridging the gap from that team to this team. On a 1st and 10, Flutie had a man on the slant. Peerless Price brought down at the 20. Well-designed pass play, earning the Bills 27 yards through the air.
And that's a pretty post pattern by Peerless Price. What Doug Flutie likes about him, he catches the ball in stride, just like that, and he catches it on the run. But now he's got to make something happen. He almost trips over the turf. The turf monster almost got him. But Peerless Price, that's his 3rd reception for the rookie, 51 yards on the day.
Bills moving the ball down the field quickly. On a 1st and 10 from the Indy 19, 5-receiver look for Buffalo. Flutie, he's going to keep it himself. And Doug Flutie is smothered just inside the 15-yard line. A pickup of 5 on 1st down. Larry Chester among those to greet him, along with Tito Wooten. 3 carries now for Flutie, 18 yards.
And I don't mind Doug Flutie rolling out, rolling left, or right or left, running the ball. But to take a quarterback draw when you're 5'9", 180 pounds against 300-pounders, that doesn't add up to me. That's risky business.
2nd and 5 for Flutie and the Bills. 16 of 29 throwing the football, 200 yards. Does have the 1 interception. Once again, a spread formation. Flutie, quick throw, Eric Moulds. 2nd effort gets him to the 5-yard line. And another set of downs for Buffalo.
Did you see Doug Flutie? That's a jump pass. You don't see that. You see that in basketball. You don't see that in football. He's got to jump to get that ball over the defense and offensive lineman. But a heck of a completion for Doug Flutie. He improvises more than any quarterback in the NFL. Take a look at right here. He's got to step back, boom, jump, throw over the line of scrimmage. Completion. 1st down, Buffalo Bills.
8 catches, 97 yards for Moulds. The 8 reception ties a career high. Keep in mind, Flutie and Moulds play a lot of basketball. He'll throw that alley-oop pass to him. 1st and goal. Antoine Smith trying to bruise his way to the end zone. He comes up just a little bit short. Chad Cota, he was the last line of defense. The strong safety saved the touchdown.
And this is the Antoine Smith that you'd like to see for the Buffalo Bills. He's played 4 games, over 400 yards rushing, 3 100-yard games, and 7 TDs. But we just hadn't seen that from the Buffalo Bills offense. Now they're behind. They have to throw, but you'd expect them to pound the ball with Antoine Smith.
You're right. He's had big numbers over the last 2 years against Indy. 3 tight ends. Wiemersma in motion. On 2nd and goal. Play action. Flutie. Little flick to the end zone. Touchdown. Jay Wiemersma. A flag down. It's against Buffalo.
That Sam Gash got a little bit of an early start at the fullback position, and that ball's going to be brought back. No touchdown for the Buffalo Bills. You'd expect that from a young player, but a seasoned veteran like Sam Gash, you've got to hold it.
Illegal motion. 33 offense. 5 yards. Repeat 2nd down.
Went to his first Pro Bowl last year, Gash.
Here's the all-pro fullback, Sam Gash, leaving just a little bit early before the ball snap. But Doug Flutie moved a little bit early also.
It will still be 2nd and goal, but they'll back it up to the 6. So instead of cutting into this Indianapolis lead, the Bills have to go out there and earn it once again. Gash and Smith in the backfield. Andre Reed in motion. Play action. Flutie looking. He's got time. Flutie on a scramble. Flutie trying to create. He's tripped up from behind by Bratsky. Down at the 4-yard line.
Now that's defensive coverage in the red zone. A tremendous job by the Indianapolis Colts defenders, the defensive secondary, of covering the wide receivers, tight ends, everybody, fullbacks out in the flat. Tremendous job of coverage. Doug Flutie has no place to go. He's looking right. Looks right again. There's nobody to throw it to, so he takes off trying to make something happen. The quickness of this Indianapolis defense from last year is apparent today.
Spot the football at the 6. 3rd and goal. Crowd on their feet. Flutie, quick throw to the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Andre Reed.
That quiets the fans down in a hurry, but that's undefensible. How do you stop this play? Get the snap. Boom, boom, boom. Plant, throw the ball, 3-step slant pattern. That's difficult to defend. Perfect execution by quarterback Doug Flutie and wide receiver Andre Reed.
His 16th career touchdown against the Colts. And Buffalo will go for 2, trailing 21-12. Trying to make it a 21-14 score. 3 receivers. Flutie changing the play. Crowd getting louder. Play clock down to 2. On a give. Jonathan Linton gets into the end zone and they convert. So the Buffalo Bills right back into this one. 21-14 now. Indianapolis with the lead. Bills on the comeback trail. 21-14. Colts leading the Buffalo Bills. But Buffalo with an 8-play, 60-yard drive. Doug Flutie finding Andre Reed for a 6-yard touchdown, and they're right back in this game. Christie on the kickoff. Keith Elias couldn't handle it. He'll now take a knee. And the Colts will have it 1st and 10 from their own 20.
Outstanding job of quarterbacking by Doug Flutie. He sees there's nobody in the middle except one linebacker. Man-on-man blocking, little double-team action here between the center, right guard, and right tackle. Nobody in the middle. It's audible off. Give it to the running back, a one-back scheme. All he's got to do is run over one. Right there in the end zone for a touchdown. Good push by the offensive line, but a smart audible call by quarterback Doug Flutie. And Ruben's a little happy. He's had a tough day trying to handle the defensive tackle, Ellis Johnson, but on that play, he won that battle.
That was on the 2-point conversion to get Buffalo within a 7-point score. 21-14. Edgerrin James coming to life here, and James was dragged down from behind by Gabe Northern. We have seen a couple of impressive runs from James in the second half. Next Saturday, CBS Sports kicks off Home Depot college football with a day-night doubleheader. First, Penn State against Miami, and then in the nightcap, the defending champion Tennessee Volunteers meet the Florida Gators, or it's Michigan taking on Syracuse. Check it out on CBS next Saturday. Edgerrin James has gone over 100 yards in his NFL debut. 21 carries, 101 yards on the ground. Little dump off for James on the flat. James trying to muscle his way for extra yardage, gets across the 25-yard line, and again, some tempers flare following the play. Sam Cowart was involved for Buffalo.
That's just the offensive lineman protecting their rookie running back, Adam Meadow and company out there. Nice little swing pass, getting it out to the flat to James.
Marshall Faulk in his pro debut for the Colts, 143 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Sam Cowart told us yesterday he didn't want to see James go over 100 yards on the ground. That would be a slap in the face.
And it's funny the way he said it on. He said, we're not going to let that kid.
Yeah.
He's in his second year.
He did use that word. Yeah, Cowart's 24 years old himself. On a 3rd and 4, Manning on the dump off for Harrison. He's got the first down and then some. Harrison lowering the shoulder as he got across the 35-yard line. Well, Edgerrin James goes over 100 yards, as we talked about. We also mentioned Marshall Faulk, who went over 100 in his first NFL game. Randy McMillan for the Colts, 146 yards back in 1981. And Curtis Dickey, not exactly one he wants to remember. 4 carries, 2 yards back in 1980.
Randy McMillan was a Brahma Bull. He played at the University of Pittsburgh with me, and what a tremendous running back. He's the typical one-back, 240-pound bruiser out of the backfield, would run over any linebacker one-on-one kneel.
1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Manning on the rollout, throwing, deep ball. Catch made by Harrison over the shoulder. Final play of the 3rd quarter, and it was a dandy. 43 yards. Manning to Harrison. What a combination they have been here today. End of the 3rd quarter. Indianapolis leading Buffalo 21-14. Back to the RCA Dome after this word from your local station. Back to game action as Manning able to throw it off to the sideline, and Ken Dilger As we make the transition from the women of CBS to what have turned out to be the men of CBS so far today, the Indianapolis Colts, so impressive in their opening game against Buffalo, 21-14 as we start play in the fourth quarter. Ian Eagle along with Mark May, Jim Mora, his second year as the head man in Indianapolis, oldest coach in the NFL, doesn't look a day over 50. He's 64.
I'll tell you what, when I'm 54, I'd like to look as good as Jim Mora looks at 64. He's in outstanding condition, but what a job he's done with his football team within 2 years.
And he hasn't aged at all today because that's his team that is rising to the occasion. Edgerrin James. He's brought down by Gabe Northern on that sideline pursuit.
Jim Mora has nothing to be upset about. I think his team's executed well on both sides of the ball as compared to last year. A lot of question marks on the defense, but it's an entirely revamped defense, and the way the offense is executed this well in the first half going into the fourth quarter now. I like the transition that the quarterback Peyton Manning has made this far. He's in total control of this offense, spreading the wealth around, getting it to the tight ends, getting it to both of his wide receivers, dumping it out of the backfield to Edgerrin James.
This is a 3rd and 4. Manning didn't get the play off and didn't get the timeout in time. So a delay of game will be called on Indianapolis. Are they giving him the timeout? Well, they claim there was 1 second on the clock, not the way that I saw it. Ron Blum will clear it up for us whether or not Manning was able to call the timeout. Didn't appear so, and I think Blum is going to agree with us.
Prior to the timeout, there was a delay of game offense. 5 yards. There is no charge timeout. I'm back out on the field.
And that's a nice call, Ian. You're absolutely right. He called that timeout, or the attempted timeout, after the clock ran.
So the clock is stopped. Just under a minute gone by here in the fourth quarter. Track the stats of your favorite players plus New York Jets wide receiver Keyshawn Johnson in the NFL Insider Spotlight. Only at www.nfl.com. This will be a 3rd and 9. Indianapolis already has the 7-point edge. Looking for more. Dilger in motion. Manning out of the shotgun. And the play never gets off. Back-to-back flags here in the early stages of the fourth quarter.
Ball start, 73 offense. 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
Adam Meadows, the starting right tackle, had 14 starts last year. Then a shoulder injury cost him the final 2 games of the season.
And this team needs to have poise. Adam Meadows, you're going to see him right in there, the right tackle. Moves a little bit early for the Indianapolis Colts offense, but you've got to become finishers. We talked about this in the first half. This team had the lead going into the second half in at least 7 games last year, but they weren't able to finish the opponent off, and that's the sign of a true playoff team, to finish them off in the fourth quarter when you have a lead.
Back it up another 5 yards. 3rd and 14. Manning throwing. Catch made by Jerome Pathan, but well short of the first down. He was able to hold it with a lot of mustard on it. 6-yard pickup. And the Colts bring out the field goal unit.
That was a nice grab by Jerome Pathan, all the way back behind him, putting both hands on the ball. That's a nice snatch in by Jerome Pathan, wide receiver. But Peyton Manning was upset. That's what I like about Peyton, taking control of this offense. He's not afraid to get into players' faces, and it's only his 2nd year in the league.
A 36-yard attempt for Mike Vanderjagt. Trying to make this a 2-possession game. Vanderjagt's field goal is good. Colts 24, Bills 14. 12:38 left here in the fourth quarter from the RCA Dome. Our coverage will continue after these words on CBS. The last time the Indianapolis Colts won a season opener, have to go back to 1996. They defeated Arizona 20-13. They lost to Miami in the season opener the last 2 years. Colts in front, 24-14, kicking off. Kevin Williams. Williams across the 30 with a burst of speed. He crosses the 35. Special teams tackle made by Scott Green after the 29-yard return. Colts in front by 10 early in the fourth.
The NFL on CBS. is sponsored by IBM. Are you ready for e-business? And by DirecTV. What are you looking at?
Colts have the youngest offense in the NFL. Right now they lead Buffalo 24-14. The Bills 10-6 last year. They lost to Miami in the wild card game 24-17. This is not what they expected opening day 1999. Early fourth quarter. Flutie back to pass. Under a rush, and Flutie is down. Andre Royal wrapped him up. And the former Bill, Cornelius Bennett, applied the pressure, forcing Flutie to scramble.
Excellent rush by Cornelius Bennett. Getting over James Remersma on the outside. Keep pushing on the outside shoulder to soft shoulder. Get to the quarterback, put pressure on him, gets a hand on him, but he gets finished off by Andre Royal. Nice rush by Cornelius Bennett. We talked to Jay Remersma yesterday. He said that Cornelius Bennett, even though he's an older guy, does a tremendous job with his hands and getting leverage on tight ends and pushing them upfield.
Second Colts sack of the day. That was a 13-yard loss. Play clock is moving. Flutie gets it off in time. Throwing the deep ball. Doug Flutie looking for Moles and overshoots it. Third and long coming up. Right now, let's get an NFL Today report as we head to New York, and Jim Nantz.
Ian, again, if you just heard it for the first time, Testaverde out for the year with a ruptured Achilles. Tom Tupa trying to direct the Jets back, connects with Keyshawn Johnson, 65 yards, sets up a touchdown toss, Tupa to Baxter, and the Jets are down 5 in the fourth quarter. Back to you.
And Jim, that changes the balance of power here in the AFC East and certainly affects these two teams playing at the RCA Dome, Indianapolis and Buffalo. Bills facing a 3rd and 23, down by 10. Flutie. Long throw by Flutie. Incomplete. Colts were in the dime package. Andre Reed was the intended receiver down the sideline, and the Bills are forced to punt.
Perfect position by Tony Blevins, the cornerback, number 26. Had the angle on Andre Reed, had perfect position and leverage on him. Nice play on the ball by Tony Blevins in the dime package.
Chris Moore, his 5th punt of the day. Jerome Pathan waiting, standing at his own 30-yard line. Colts don't rush, they'll back off, and Pathan, fair catch signal, short punt. Pathan catches cleanly at the 41. Colts will have good field position after the 34-yard punt from Moore. They lead this one 24-14. 24-14, the Colts leading the Buffalo Bills. 24 points by this Indianapolis offense. This is a team that averaged 19 points per game last year. They can get some more with Dilger and Pollard in the 2 tight end set for Manning. Underthrows the intended receiver, Marvin Harrison, on the sideline. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Colts. Thurman Thomas in street clothes. He logged 1 play here today. It was the first play from scrimmage for Buffalo. And this is what it looked like as he took a shot from Tyrone Poole.
And that's the most difficult shot to take as a player, hit to take as a player, because you don't know. If you know somebody's coming, you can protect yourself and defend yourself. When you don't see it coming, there's nothing you can do about it. And Thurman Thomas did not see that coming.
X-rays on his ribs came back negative. On a run by Edgerrin James off of play action, the Bills may have been fooled a bit. Sam Coward making the tackle after a gain of 4, 3rd and 6. Give you the esoteric stat of the week. Colts went 3-1 in the preseason. In their 15 years in Indianapolis, the Colts have never had a losing record in the regular season after posting a winning record in the preseason. Want to buy into it? You can. It's one of those that you could throw up against the wall, hope it sticks if you're Indianapolis. Manning on 3rd down. Could not make the connection with Harrison, and a late flag. Harrison felt he was held by the jersey. Bruce Smith applied the hit on Peyton Manning. It is against Buffalo. So a 3rd down conversion that the Bills could have held on will now turn into a New set of downs for Indy.
Holding, 20 defense, penalties decline. Personal foul, 78 defense, hitting the quarterback below the knees, 15 yards, first down.
And that's perennial Pro Bowler Bruce Smith, future Hall of Famer.
And that's a tough penalty to call. He's coming off a spin move, being blocked by Tarek Glenn, and he's just going for the quarterback. He doesn't know where Peyton Manning is. That's a tough call for Bruce Smith.
I'll agree with you. He spun off the line play and didn't even know where he was and happened to spin into the legs of Peyton Manning.
I'm not going to jump for a defender's cause, but on that case, I'll give it to Bruce Smith.
Well, it's a first down for the Colts at the Buffalo 40-yard line with 10:46 to play in the fourth. On a pitch, James fumbles the football. And a fight for it. It looked like Indianapolis had it for a moment. Then Thomas Smith came up with a loose ball. Sam Cowart knocked it loose. Buffalo recovers.
Adrian James said that he did not want to play like a rookie in his first time out. That's a costly rookie mistake. Hurdling over bodies, you always have to protect the football first and foremost as a running back. Trying to make something happen, I can understand his effort, but the bottom line, hold on to the football. The results are, it just cost you momentum, just cost you the football.
It was Phil Hansen with the jarring blow. James couldn't hold on to the football. He left his feet, and that cost him. He was looking for some extra yardage. And now Buffalo takes over. 10:29 showing on the clock. Colts were on the move. The Bills trailing by 10. Crowd trying to get involved with a three-receiver look from the 37. Colts showing blitz. May have left too early. Flag comes down. Flutie sideline throw caught by Price. Out of bounds. Right at midfield. That would be enough for a first down.
Ball start, 70 offense, 5 yards, repeat first down.
John Fina, who has been the starting left tackle for the Bills since opening day of the '93 season. He gets caught.
The left side of the Buffalo offensive line is giving them problems today. They've had 3 penalties called between Reuben Brown and John Fina. They have the experience on that offensive line. The right side isn't as experienced. You'd expect the left side to really take the bull by the horns and lead this team, but it's the defensive rush, Chad Bratzke, Ellis Johnson, that's giving the offensive line of the Buffalo Bills left side problems and headaches today.
11 penalties, 85 yards for Buffalo. On a 1st and 15 now from the 32. Here's Flutie. Dump off over the middle, extra yardage for Jonathan Linton, who was falling down as he crossed midfield. That's his own fault. A 20-yard pickup could have been 25 or 30 if Linton stayed on his feet. And the clock continues to roll as we approach 10 minutes left in the fourth.
Outstanding job of concentration by Linton of taking that ball in with the defender draped over his back, but the turf monster definitely got him on that play. He could have picked up extra yardage, nothing but green in front of him, but tripped up by the turf monster.
2 catches, 27 yards for Linton. 1st and 10 in Colts territory at the 48. Flutie to throw. Fires one to the sideline. Knocked away. Incomplete. Good coverage by Tyrone Poole. Eric Moulds was the intended receiver, and a flag down against the Colts.
Personal foul against the Colts.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, roughing the quarterback, number 92 defense, 15 yards, first down.
Chad Bratzke in his first game in a Colts uniform.
I'm going to watch Chad Bratzke right here on our screen to the right, going after quarterback Doug Flutie. The ball's thrown. At the end of the play, he just knocks Doug Flutie to the ground. That's uncalled for. That was way late. He deserves that penalty. Coming off the edge, going around, the ball's thrown. There's Doug Flutie. No reason for that.
On an incomplete pass, Buffalo actually moves forward to the 33-yard line of Indianapolis. 7th penalty called on Indy. 1st and 10. Flutie in the pocket. Flutie tripped up in the backfield. Chad Bratzke making up for the last play with a quarterback sack.
And he got it back. Just dogged pursuit by Chad Bradsky on the penalty. Just put his paw on Doug Flutie. He went down on a normal-sized quarterback. He would have never gone down on this play. He just keeps going after Doug Flutie, dives at the end, trips him up. One hand goes around and knocks him off at the ankles with one hand of Chad Bradsky, bringing the quarterback Doug Flutie down on the sack.
7-yard loss. Third Colts sack. On a 2nd and 17. All sorts of weapons for Flutie. Movement. Flutie had it batted down. Flag was down. It looked like Robert Hicks, the right tackle.
It was Ian. He just kicked out of his pass protection stance. One kick too early.
False start, 77 offense. 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
It is Hicks, who looked good in spot duty last year. He's still learning technique. Only in his 2nd year out of Mississippi State, a former 3rd-round pick. And Flutie has been under some heavy pressure from this Indianapolis defense. This is a completely different defense than Flutie saw last year. Actually, he did see it, but he saw it in Carolina.
And he picked them apart in Carolina. That was the problem. They thought they could pick this defense apart, but this is a different Colt defense from top to bottom.
That's where coordinator Vic Fangio was last year, formerly with the Saints under Jim Mora. A sideline throw caught by Moulds, but he couldn't do anything with it after making the catch. Brought it in at the 40, and a 5-yard pickup. Chad Cota with the stick. He is a former Carolina Panther. It'll be 3rd and 17.
Part of Bill Polian's posse, the ex-general manager of the Carolina Panthers. He decided to bring in a lot of the players that he brought to the Carolina Panthers that he could acquire in free agency here to the Indianapolis Colts.
And that was a good Panther team that went to the NFC Championship game. Let's call it 3rd and 16. Big play for the Bills. Flutie airing it out, looking for the end zone. Over the head of Andre Reed. Incomplete. Jason Belzer had the coverage.
Jason Belzer was beat on that play, Ian. If Doug Flutie puts that ball where it should be, that's a touchdown, Buffalo Bills. Andre Reed did a nice job of getting by Jason Belzer right here. Not 1, but 3 steps in front of Jason Belzer. If he takes a little bit off that pass, it's touchdown, Buffalo Bills.
Polian. He and Jim Mora have put together a young and exciting team, and it's paying off major dividends here in the opening week. Colts lead at 24-14. 6th punt for Mora, trying to angle it. Takes a bounce into the end zone. And the Colts will have it with just a shade under 8 minutes to play, owning a 24-14 lead. We're in the 4th at Indy.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers. And by Ameritrade, the way to trade, period.
Not a bad time for that young man to become a Colt fan. It's a new era here in Indianapolis with Peyton Manning and Edgerrin James. Part of this young offense. James crossing the 25-yard line. Larry Moore provided the block, the center, but a flag on the play. .24 carries, 107 yards for Edgerrin James. Looks like this one is coming back.
Holding, 78 offense, 10 yards, repeat 1st down.
Tarek Glenn, the starting left tackle, had 16 starts last season. Really one of the more experienced offensive linemen now at the age of 23 in his 3rd year out of Cal. Well, James and Ricky Williams will be compared for the rest of their NFL careers, and this is what we have for you so far today. Ricky Williams in his NFL debut, 10 rushes, 40 yards. James, 24 carries, 107 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 fumble. That has not hurt the Colts. On the dump off for James, he has some room to work with. Edgerrin James crossing the 20-yard line and getting back the yardage that they lost on the penalty. 12-yard pass play in the flat.
That's a nice little swing pattern that Peyton Manning can dump off to Edgerrin James. They can throw that out there, dump it off. It's just like a sweep, getting your offensive linemen out, running, getting your blockers out in front to knock them out. But this is what they do, is just drop the ball off for quarterback, wide quarterback and running back to get out to the flat to get positive yards for the offense.
On a 2nd and 9. Under 7 minutes to play in the fourth. Colts lead by 10. Harrison the motion man. Manning. Play action. Handoff does go through to Edgerrin James, and Sam Coward made the tackle. It'll be third down coming up. A young tandem running back quarterback. They've seen it before with the Colts. Back in 1956, Johnny Unitas and Lenny Moore. Early 70s, Burt Jones and Lydell Mitchell. And now Peyton Manning and Edgerrin James. They can build on this for the next 10 years. This could be a fairly successful decade of football here in Indianapolis. It's 3rd and 7. Manning will throw it. Rush is coming. Complete. E.G. Green. Just shy of the 40-yard line. They'll move the chains, and the clock will continue to roll. 17-yard hookup.
And Peyton Manning looking comfortable in the pocket. Not moving. The rush is coming. Bruce Smith on the edge. Takes the snap. Just steps up in the pocket. Fires the ball down for the first down. Here's the shotgun snap. Sits in the huddle. Drifts back. One step. Step up. Throw the ball. First down. Indianapolis Colts. E.G. Green, what a day. 5 receptions, 124 yards. This is what you can build on. Get a good drive, a long drive in the fourth quarter. Turn out the lights on the opposing defense.
A very young offense. Average age just under 25 years old. Edgerrin James, who is 21 years old, gets the call. A 3-yard pickup. James, 26 carries, 112 yards. If the Colts can keep this drive alive, Buffalo may have no chance to get back into it. It's a 2-possession game right now, 24-14, as we hit 5 minutes to play in the fourth.
And here's an experienced offense. Milk the clock. Run the ball. Take your time coming out of the huddle. Milk the clock. Take time off the clock. Get up, relax, get set, get a play called, get positive yardage, and move the chains for first downs.
Marcus Pollard in motion. Here's Manning. The poise of a veteran. Able to float one ahead for Edgerrin James. And now the Bills want a timeout. It'll be 3rd and 6 coming up from the 44. Buffalo takes the timeout with 4:34 to play in the fourth. Colts 24, Bills 14. Our coverage continues after this. Well, I think everybody around the league sensed that Indianapolis would be a better team this year. They just didn't know how this team would react. First game out of the box against a playoff team from a year ago. Colts have been up to the challenge. Manning on 3rd down, knocked up in the air and intercepted. Picked off by Antoine Winfield, the rookie out of Ohio State. Thomas Smith knocked the ball upstairs, and that one may be very costly.
And that's a mistake they can ill afford, particularly at this point of the game. You've got your wide receivers going out, going for the ball, and E.G. Green didn't even look at the ball. It was thrown behind him, but it was tipped up in the air, and that's the old tip drill by the defenders. They practice that every day. If you can't intercept it, get your hand on it and knock it up in the air so another defender can put their hands around it and intercept it.
Second interception of the day for Manning. He threw one on the final play of the first half. Now the Colts defense is on the clock, and the Buffalo offense will try to recreate what we saw from a year ago from Doug Flutie. With his team down by 10. Incomplete. Eric Moulds in and out of his hands. Clock stops with 4:23 left in the fourth.
The Indianapolis Colts defense, their new defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, are relentless. They're going to blitz and blitz and blitz. 2 years ago, as defensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, he blitzed 48 out of the last 50 plays against this Colt team, knocking out quarterback Jim Harbaugh and winning the game for the Carolina Panthers.
Shotgun formation, 2nd and 10 from the 48. Flutie throwing the deep ball, and Moulds was juggling it. Incomplete. They had the right idea, just couldn't execute it.
And I talk about the blitz of this defense. What I really like, and I'm really impressed with, the team speed compared to last year. Last year, they were catchers on defense. They couldn't go and penetrate on the defensive line to get penetration. This year, they've got their ears pinned back. They're attacking. You've got the secondary converging on the ball, linebackers all over the place. That's the most impressive thing about this Colt defense is their entire team speed.
Bills are 3 of 11 on third down conversions. The ground game has been virtually non-existent for Buffalo. It doesn't matter right now. They face a 3rd and 10. Flutie retreating in the pocket. Flutie, plenty of time, throwing, and makes the connection to Jonathan Linton. A first down into Colts territory, by far the biggest offensive play of the game for Buffalo. Under 4 minutes to play. Bills have 2 timeouts to work with.
Tremendous job by the offensive line protecting Doug Flutie. He had at least 7 or 8 seconds. He looked 2, 3, 4 wide receivers till he found his receiver in Linton for the first down.
Line of scrimmage is the 37, a 1st and 10 for Buffalo. Out of the shotgun. Flutie stepping up. Flutie on the move. Will have to tuck and run. Out of bounds. Sean King was the man chasing him from behind.
Did you see Cornelius Bennett? He must have ran 50, 60 yards on that play. Came up the field on the blitz, missed Doug Flutie, went all the way around him, came back underneath, chased him down, took an angle downfield to go tackle Doug Flutie.
Yep.
And look at his tongue is hanging out. He should be tired. He should be tired. He just ran 50, 60, 70 yards on one play.
He ran 50 yards, and Doug Flutie got 6.
He's coming out for a breather after that play. He deserves it. He gave 110% effort to try to get Doug Flutie, but he just couldn't catch him.
This is a 2nd and 4 from the 31. 5 receiver look. Flutie can't get the play off in time, and they're forced to use a timeout. Just 1 timeout remaining for Buffalo. That one could come back to haunt them. 3:35 left in the 4th. Doug Flutie upset that he could not get everything situated in time with just 1 timeout left for the Bills. And they don't need just 1 score, they need 2. Fridays this fall on CBS. Critics are saying now and again is the X-Files meets the $6 million man. We'll have to check that out now and again. Series premiere Friday, September 24th, right here on CBS, America's most watched network.
And this is such a critical drive for the Buffalo Bills. They've got to find a way to get points out of this drive, preferably a touchdown to keep them into this football game. But if the Indianapolis Colts can find a way of stopping them, that's the game for the Colts. They're going to come out and play smash mouth football. But here it is for Doug Flutie in this offense. They need a score in this drive.
5 receivers. On 2nd and 4. Picked off. Intercepted. Tony Blevins cutting it back. Blevins looking to go the distance. And he will. Touchdown, Indianapolis. $74 yards. Tony Blevins, 74-yard interception return for a score.
But what a great job of reading quarterback Doug Flutie on the play, breaking on the ball, coming up with the interception. That's the play that broke the camel's back, or will break the camel's back for the Buffalo Bills. But talk about a new era in this town of Indianapolis. They needed to come up with big plays. They revamped their entire defense from last year to this year. 6 new starters, new defensive coordinators, new backups. What do? The play of the game comes up with a defender making a great play on the ball, Tony Blevins.
And that will seal it for the Colts. There's a stoppage in play with the officials huddling up, and it looks like they may review this. It is not in the final 2 minutes, so that would take a challenge from Wade Phillips. First career interception for Blevins, and this play is under review. Ron Blum chatting with the officials upstairs. What is there to review?
Nothing. Clean interception right there, clean.
Unless the Bills claim he is down.
He can't be down. It wasn't even close. He was so far away from the wide receiver, I don't think he was down. I think that's a clean play. He's not down.
The Bills feel that Jonathan Linton tackled Tony Blevins. It looked more like incidental contact, and that if Linton is going to tackle him, he's got to touch him with 2 hands while he's lying on the ground.
This is our first challenge, and I think it's a touchdown. I believe that's a clean play.
So Ron Blum taking a look at the replay, kind of gives you that image of a 1920 professional photographer.
It's like the masked executioner. One way or the other, somebody's going to be happy, the other person isn't. But that was a great play, interception and run by Tony Blevins, and getting the ball into the end zone with his last step. Desperation stride to lay out.
Instant replay rules, 2 challenges per team, will cost the team a timeout unless the call is reversed, and that could be costly as well. Buffalo only has 1 timeout remaining. Last 2 minutes of the half and overtime. All plays will be reviewed by the replay official upstairs. And all reviews a maximum of 90 seconds from the time the referee puts on the headphones. The headphones are off. Is there a question mark on the tackle being made or the touchdown?
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It's a touchdown.
So in essence, Colts fans get a chance to celebrate twice.
A twofer.
2 for the price of 1. And Indianapolis has a 30-14 lead, and they can tack on 1 more. Bills have no timeouts remaining. That has cost Buffalo their final timeout. Vanderjagt with the extra point. Another look at Tony Blevins. First career interception and touchdown.
And Doug Flutie just trying to throw a simple out pattern. Tony Blevins does a great job right here, jumping on the football, breaking on it. What an interception by Blevins. Coming up and then making something happen after the interception, getting blocks downfield by Jeff Burris in front of him, cuts across the field, beats the offensive liner. No way John Fina's going to catch a defensive back, but a nice cut of going across the grain and making something happen after the interception, staggering into the end zone, lunging at the end. But the biggest play of Tony Blevins' short NFL career.
And that was the question, we've been told, whether or not he was down by contact after the interception. Hey, you saw it just like we saw it, all the viewers out there. I think it was fairly clear, and so did the officials, that Blevins made a clean pick, fell down because of his own momentum forcing himself forward, not because Jonathan Linton tackled him, and then stood up and made the play. A 74-yard interception return and score. And Indianapolis will win their first opening day game since 1996. They lead 31-14 with just over 3 minutes to play. A long stoppage here following the review. And Jim Mora will not allow himself to smile despite what his team has done here this afternoon.
And Jim Mora is the type of coach that he'll smile after the final whistle's gone off. When it's over, and he knows he's got a winner. The smile will come to his face.
Coming up tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes and Goodfellas tonight on CBS. Kevin Williams on the return. And he's dragged down from behind as he crosses the 40-yard line by Bertrand Berry. 36-yard return. On 60 Minutes, a Russian KGB agent comes out of the shadows and reveals in detail how the Kremlin planned to wipe us all out. That's 60 Minutes. And then from director Martin Scorsese, starring Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, and Ray Liotta. Nominated for 6 Academy Awards. It's Goodfellas. And that's tonight on CBS.
One of my favorite all-time movies, Goodfellas. I've probably seen that movie at least 200 times. And I'll watch it 201 tonight.
200?
I love that movie. De Niro, Pesci.
Get a hobby. It's 1st and 10. Buffalo in a hole that they will be unable to climb out of. Flutie. No timeouts, the Bills. And the clock will continue to roll. Chad Bratsky bringing them down. Don't forget, following football here on CBS, it is the U.S. Open men's final. An All-American final at that. Number 2, Andre Agassi against number 7, Todd Martin. We'll have it for you from the National Tennis Center in Flushing, New York. The U.S. Open next on CBS. Clock ticking with 2:37 left. Flutie throwing the long ball, caught by Moles. It'll look good on the stats, but won't mean all that much when it's said and done. Inside the 15-yard line, Buffalo needs points, and they need them in a hurry. 44-yard pass play.
That was a tremendous catch by wide receiver Eric Moles, going over behind him, snatching that ball in for the first down. Big reception by Eric Moles. When Doug Flutie's in trouble, when he needs to make something happen, he goes to number 80, Eric Moles.
Big numbers for him. 10 catches, 147 yards, a new career high in receptions. Here's Flutie. Sidearm delivery incomplete as we hit the 2-minute warning. Andre Reed, the intended receiver, will come back with the finish here at the RCA Dome. The Colts have this one in hand. 31-14. They lead. Final minute 58 on the clock with the Colts in front, 31-14. Buffalo has it, a 1st and 10 at the Indy 14-yard line. Too little, too late. Make it a 2nd and 10 for Buffalo. Here's Flutie out of the shotgun. Flutie has the ball, jarred loose. Indianapolis recovers. Larry Chester. That is just the icing on the cake. And what was a stupendous defensive effort by this new lit Colt defense.
It's ironic. Last year, the first game for the Buffalo Bills playing the Indianapolis Colts, Larry Chester was the defensive lineman that injured quarterback Brad Johnson. Here he comes up with a big fumble recovery at the end of the play, at the end of the game for the Indianapolis Colts.
Bertrand Berry knocked the ball loose.
But good pursuit by this defense the entire day, Ian. Dogged pursuit of the quarterback, pinning your ears back, making something happen defensively. Wade Phillips isn't happy about it, but this is a new defense for the Indianapolis Colts, and they're one to be reckoned with the entire NFL.
Indianapolis won all of 3 games a year ago. Victories over San Diego, the Jets, Cincinnati. All 3 wins came here at the RCA Dome. They showed promise during the preseason, a 3-1 record. But you just didn't know what to expect with this very tough schedule in the AFC East. And now with the injury to Vinny Testaverde out for the year, the complexion of this division changes quite a bit. Don't forget, coming up next, the U.S. Open men's final. Andre Agassi and Todd Martin will have tennis action for you following the football here on CBS. Peyton Manning will take a knee.
But going back over today, it's interesting the way that Bill Polian built this team. Went to the draft offensively, drafted offense last year, first pick Edgerrin James this year. On defense, free agents, left and right, bring them in. If it's a revolving door, we'll keep bringing them in until we find our people. And it looks like he's got the right people thus far this year.
There's a smile.
Finally a smile.
It took
almost the entire game.
Till about the 51-second mark of the 4th quarter.
But he deserves it. He did a heck of a job coaching this team and getting them prepared for their season opener.
This will be the final play. After a disappointing 1998 campaign, the Indianapolis Colts have opened the '99 season with a bang. A surprising win over Buffalo, 31-14, the final here at the RCA Dome. Peyton Manning. and a disappointed Thurman Thomas. Jim Mora saw his young quarterback show a lot of poise here today. Is he going to be one of the greats in the NFL? Manning certainly has a chance, and a lot of that has to do with the fact he's got a young receiver in Marvin Harrison that is on the same page with him.
And not only that, he's got an excellent offensive line. Big, strong, physical, but they can pass protect, and they kept him clean today. And this guy right here, Edgerrin James, he's going to be a great one. I mean, not a good one. He will be a great one. He gets 1,000 yards plus this year. In 5 or 10 years from now, you're going to read about the great threesome. Aikman, Smith, Irvin. It's going to be right here. You're going to look at Edgerrin James, Marvin Harrison, and Peyton Manning will be in the journals with those guys down the road.
31-14 the final. Colts win it. Let's go to New York at Jim Nantz.
All right, Ian and Mark, thank you. Also in the AFC East, looks like the Patriots might pull it out. 22 seconds to go. They're knocking right at the goal line. Let's join Greg and Phil.
22 seconds remaining on 2nd and goal, and the Patriots don't do much with it as Drew Bledsoe pretty much just kills it and gets things set for a field goal. The clock continues to wind, and he will use a timeout to stop the clock right now. So the Patriots have set things up for Adam Vinatieri. And what a huge first step this would be for the New England Patriots to come into the Meadowlands and knock off the defending Eastern Conference champions.
Well, a lot of things happen. The defense comes through for the New England Patriots. They make the plays when they had to, but Drew Bledsoe and the receiving corps, when given the opportunities, have really taken advantage of them today. And hey, that we said many times, that's what this team is about. And they came through today to beat, well, to give them a chance to beat the New York Jets.
We've seen one bad snap earlier, which resulted in a safety. Lee Johnson holds for Vinatieri from 23 yards out. And it's good. The Patriots take the lead with 3 seconds to play at 30-28.
And this should be a tremendous lift for the New England Patriots. Here you see Adam Vinatieri.
This time, Mike Bartram's snap was perfect. And over on the sideline, oh, you know that man is happy. Let's go back to what we said at the very beginning of the day. We asked Pete Carroll, what do you think of your team coming into the regular season? He said, I don't know.
Well, you're right, and I understood why. But now he knows why.
What an opening day it has been. Patriots with the Vinatieri field goal, only 3 seconds away from the win at the Jets. We'll get you caught up on all the scores when we continue from our NFL Today studios here at Studio 43 in New York in just a moment. We'll get you caught up next.